Coming up on Now You Made It Awkward podcast.
In that given context.
In that context, a person who, like, for instance, you have incredibly marketable, valuable skills in building and welding and all these other things.
Sure.
You're infinitely more valuable than somebody who's just laying on the fucking couch all day bitching about what somebody else has that they don't.
Right. Yeah.
Infinitely more value. Like, it was our money that did that.
So what?
The United States was directly involved with that happening.
Yeah, and I think that...
And then the United States covered it up. I recognize that if you make if you make peaceful resolution impossible, you make violent revolution inevitable.
Yep.
That is a fact. Because what we have seen, at least in the last 10 years, is one side doing their damnedest to get peaceful resolutions to things and move forward with proper justice, proper rule of law, and the other side saying no and then hitting them with a big stick and then setting the body on fire. But the thing is, they wouldn't try to kill you if you weren't saying something worth hearing.
Sure.
The only reason your voice is worth silencing is because it's saying something that they don't want other people to hear.
Yeah.
Now,
I see her rolling up over black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of
like, it's like I have not put that one where it should go. Either way. All right, so let's get rolling because we are running a little bit late. I'm going to go ahead and open my beer because it's been a long fucking day. Oh, I got that little shook. Is what it is.
What kind of beer is that?
It's from Three Floyds.
Okay. I've never heard of that brand before.
Yeah, no, it's generally not available down here, but it's called Zombie Ice. It's a double pale ale, it's not a double IPA. It's just a double pale ale.
What's the difference between like a pale ale and a double pale ale?
It's Imperial or India IPA.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, so a pale ale is obviously a little bit differently, but an IPA tends to be an Imperial pale ale.
Is it super bitter?
It's a bit bitter, but it's also old.
Okay.
Like got it when we were in Colorado for the church trip.
I know a lot of guys love IPAs. Personal opinion, most of the ones I've tried taste like piss.
Yeah. Well, then you tasted bad ones.
Yeah.
So the thing with IPAs, you got to find the ones that have the fruitier, more floral notes rather than the bitter notes or the piney notes. So they can get very skunky and piney, or they can be very floral and fruity.
Yeah.
So, and it's all still IPA. It just depends on what yeast they're using for the most part, but also what hops. Hops are going to give you your fragrance, and they're going to give you your bitterness.
Okay.
So it also depends on whether you're putting them in primary boil or you're coming in a little bit later, dry hopping later in the thing. So I know enough to be dangerous. I don't know everything about the brewing process.
Yeah.
But I know the steps, and I know when you should do things. I've spent enough time around the things. But I couldn't just up and make a beer. I have participated in one beer making session with a friend of mine a long time ago. And that did not go well. We accidentally burned it a little.
I imagine that's probably pretty easy to do.
Yeah, because we were going old school style using a fucking turkey fryer.
Oh.
Yeah, so the flames were just way too hot most of the time. Oh, one thing I should have checked was how much space I actually still have on the hard drive, because I currently have episode 200 sitting here. Should be okay. Yeah, it's fine. So, just a nice bit of news for everybody out there who's watching this. By the way, guys, welcome back to the Now You Made It Awkward podcast, episode 199. Next week is the week for you guys watching, not me. Right now in real time. I have to do the literal finishing touches on episode 200, and I'll do that probably right after you leave tonight. So that will be out in time, at least the first one. The second one is going to be like a mad thrash for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
To get it done, because we were actually supposed to record this last week, and it never got around to happening.
We didn't?
No. I don't like, just too much stuff went down all at the same time. Like, is like we never set a day for it. We just said, hey, we should do it later in the week, and then later in the week came and went, and then more stuff happened. So it just
Okay, I see.
yeah.
I was trying. I wanted to make sure that like I didn't bail on you.
No, it just never got around to happening. I could have made it happen, but it was just too much. It's like I spent almost every night last week editing. So
I got you.
between the regular podcast and episode 200, I was editing every single night except for one. So either way, welcome back, guys. I already said that, but I am Shoky. You can follow me all the Shoky related links down below, whether that's Shoky Reviews 2, or the It Doesn't Have to Make Sense live stream channel, which I've not been streaming on at all because of the aforementioned editing. I'll get back to it after I get this edit done. It's so much work, guys. If you've never had to do a big bulk edit with multiple cameras, multiple audio tracks, and all this other stuff, you have no idea the amount of work YouTubers go through. Especially when they're having to do it for free because, well, frankly, ain't nobody paying for this show. So it is what it is. Speaking of that, if you want to actually help support the show and make it a little bit easier for me to do my job, go check out the Patreon. For as little as $5 a month, you can get the full uncut video version of this podcast, or you get things super early, like they got the uncut version of episode 200 last night. Yep, all... what did I whittle it down to? I whittled it down to a little under 5 hours for the uncut, which means I actually did cut quite a lot. But as I stated the other day, there was a lot of private conversations happening while the cameras were rolling, so I removed those for people's privacy's sake. I was like, oh, no.
It's the right thing to do.
Yep, I did the right thing there. Sorry. So it is massively uncut. However, I did remove some stuff just for that reason, and some privacy stuff, like we were talking about Natasha's job briefly, so I removed that. So just to be safe.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Either way, guys, if you also want to help support the show, you can go buy some merch. Go check out the merch store, where actually Tim just saw my latest posters that I got out there. Sitting there looking at my cards I got from the Nerd Conference. So we got all kinds of posters over there. We got the Castle Grayskull on Stolen Land. We've got the Live Laugh Awkward. We've got the what was it? Few the Proud the Awkward, which is the latest thing. And I will be coming out with the They Don't Know I'm a Person of Color merch eventually. I will probably make that in the colors of different Slavic countries' flags to the best of my ability. We'll see what happens, because that's just going to be worth it. Just going to be worth it, I think. And then I'll put the statute on the back that says why they're people of color. And guys, if you notice I'm not wearing a hat, it's because I have a headache currently, and I just didn't want to put one on. So now you guys can see my shiny dome and my hair going the wrong direction because the camera is flipped. So it is what it is. Is there anything else? Oh, yes, guys, if you want to contact the show, because, of course, my standard co-hosts are still not here. If you want to contact us, you can do so at nowyoumade.it@gmail.com. Come follow us on Instagram at 90_pod, where I've been posting lots of clips already from episode 200. Little things I've removed or funny little teasers here and there. And then, of course, if you want to check us out on the Facebooks, it's at Now You Made It Awkward podcast, and it's the same place where you can send in your voicemails to ask us questions, make comments directly to us. And if you need to know how to do that, basically go over to the message us link thingy there, the little thing that says message, and then you can send a text message first, and then it'll send an automated reply. Then you can send a voice message, and I'll listen to it here on the show, and we'll answer your questions. And of course, if we have any comments here and there on the actual episodes, we'll check those out as well. The only comment on the latest episode is actually from my current guest host, actually. And back with us this week, it feels like he was just here, we have Aunt Tim.
Nice to see you guys again. Happy to be here.
Owner, proprietor, main welder god of Fortified Ironworks.
Appreciate that.
Yes.
I don't know that I would use those particular adjectives for myself.
Lower G god. Lower G god. Well, Chad is a vinyl daddy, so you got to
vinyl daddy.
Yeah, you got to be welding god.
Okay.
Yeah, and considering you're wearing a forging shirt right there, which actually is not visible on camera, but it's fine. Either way, I got to hit the right buttons here, 1 and 2. There we go. So go check him out at Fortified Ironworks. Go ahead and give him some work if you need some custom stuff bent, welded, and put in place, or just some cool stuff built if you need a gazebo or portcullis or whatever.
Pergola?
No, there's another thing. It's called a portcullis. I forgot what it's actually.
Portcullis? You think I would know that?
Well, I think that's more like in a castle. situation, but I
okay.
think it is something kind of like that. My brain is thinking, I'm getting a lot of glitchiness on the cameras here.
I've never had the pleasure of working in a castle, but if you got a castle,
There's castles in
hit me
Texas.
up.
There are castles in Texas.
There are. In
And if
Texas?
you go out like Central Texas, there's some rich ass motherfuckers who built castles. You know how they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, much like the castle we visited in Colorado. You know, that was just a billionaire who wanted to build a castle.
Wish I had castle money. That would be sick.
Well, you can do it the slow and hard way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Just slowly steal all the cinder blocks you need to build up your castles and all that other kind of stuff. And guys, we don't have a fat cam today because I didn't feel like going up there to hit the button and turn on everything on. But also, guys, if you want to go check out the Discord, go check out the Nimea Discord. It's down below. There's not a whole lot of activity, but you do get the episodes when they drop there. We do have just a general chat and meme of the week. We don't have meme of the week currently, but if we did, we would do it right now. There'll be lightning and thunder and stuff on the screen, and it'd say meme of the week, and then we would stare up there at the TV. But look, it's 199. We're trying to get it done so that I can focus on finishing 200 part 2. That's just how this works. We were supposed to bank like the last 3, like back to back to back. Scheduling didn't work. Had other Kevin last week. I still have an episode. I haven't edited 198 at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got to get it done. I'll do that tomorrow when I get off work. So, guys, I did want to make a little, not an announcement, because obviously I think I said it on the last episode, but if you wonder why I'm wearing this nice collared black shirt, it's not because I needed to be, upgrade my fit for the show. It's because this afternoon we did say goodbye to Rodney's dad. Today was his funeral, so rest in peace, Rodney Sr. Actually, there was a lot of good stories told about him, and what's funny is that I have a very limited exposure to the man. I lived down the street for about 3 years, give or take, after they finally moved in. Well, Rodney Jr. finally moved in. But, worked on a lot of projects. The guy, much like yourself, started his own business, building stuff, but he did more cabinetry, or literally his business was concrete to cabinets.
Okay.
So he kind of did a little bit of everything. And as a lot of people pointed out today, which I thought was both hilarious and mean at the same time, was everybody's like, he was great at building stuff, not so great on the finesse work. And he's like, also sometimes maybe didn't put as many supports in as he should have for a lot of things, but whatever. And then I was thinking, I was like, that is literally my experience with the man when we were building stuff. It's like, we got into an argument like one time when we were building the porch, I believe it was at Rodney's place, or the steps probably, as to how many supports or how many beams needed to be across, and the actual code and distance they were supposed to be apart. I think we actually got into it about that at one point, and I just gave up arguing with him. I'm like, fine, whatever. And it turns out that's basically just how he always was. Is like, if he could do it if he could stretch a board, he would do it. And it's not to say that he was a bad builder or anything else like that, but sometimes he wasn't keen on the details. He just wanted the job done as it could be.
I understand that. And there's a lot of crews out there that do operate that way. I've learned in running a business that you can become jaded.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
I'm very perfectionist, detail oriented, to my own detriment, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, there have been those instances. A lot of the work I end up doing is going out and fixing other looks good for my house type work. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Not saying that's the kind of work that Rodney Sr. did, but there are guys out there that do the looks good.
No,
for my house
he did
work.
a good job for a lot of people, like getting like proper clients and stuff like that. But the thing is like, as was repeated today, was people didn't remember him for the stuff they built or he built for them.
Mm-hmm.
They remember him for his stories, his personality. He was everybody's friend, always smiling, loved sweets, all these other kind of things. And, just seeing all these people get up there, actual family and then like extended family members or friends of the family who were brought in over time, and I'm just sitting there in this almost full sanctuary at this funeral home. And I'm just thinking, like, how jealous I am that my dad didn't get a funeral like this. You know, my dad's funeral was last week, and I talked about it with other Kevin. But I was like, yeah, a few people did come up and say some good things about my dad, but I also feel like people didn't. There wasn't enough for
Sometimes
the
though,
amount of people that my dad touched.
sometimes maybe people are just too like nervous or shy or are afraid they're gonna choke up. I mean, it might be the opposite effect. Maybe your dad
Yeah.
had such like a profound impact on people that they didn't feel like they could get up in front of a crowd and talk about it without breaking up. Maybe.
And that is fair to some people but we also had a very, very last second loose structure to his funeral, for lack of, it wasn't a full on funeral, but
I got you.
service. And like, even when we did the luncheon after the fact, it would have been the time to get more people to tell stories publicly. Like, we were all sitting around tables talking, but I don't know. It just felt like my dad didn't get his due, you know? So maybe I have to come back later and do a whole shebang about just my dad. Like, maybe I'll do that on the live stream or something. But like, I've mentioned it here before. Like, you know, you were talking about your grandpa before, and thinking back on my dad, you know, everything I know how to do, for the most part, I got the drive and the basic knowledge from him. And then if I was more interested in it, I went to school for it. You know, we talked about college and whatnot. But like, just the basic knowledge of taking care of stuff, even cooking, all these other things. Like, I learned cooking a little bit from my mom, but my dad did most of the cooking because he was a stay-at-home dad. Like, he retired when I was 50, or when I was 5. He was 55. When you could retire at 55, you know?
That's badass.
Yeah. And, you know, he was a stay-at-home dad. You know, he took care of shit. You know, we built our own home, built everything on our property, all that kind of stuff. So I was out there helping him build stuff, you know, from the ground up, literally, the whole everything. And then, you know, he just instilled all these things and interests in me, like useless knowledge. Like, Jessica always talks about how, like, why do you know that? Like, that comes out of her mouth so much. I'm like, I mean, I sat there for, I couldn't even tell you how long, watching Jeopardy with my dad, learning useless fucking things, watching Wheel of Fortune. And it was so funny. We had a very, very long running joke in our household. So if you had, it's just the final puzzle or any puzzle on sort of Wheel of Fortune, and it was 3 sets of 3 letters.
Okay.
That's a pretty difficult puzzle. We made the joke from the mid 90s until we didn't really spend that much time watching the show together. Anytime we would get that as a puzzle, we would guess immediately the Red Sea.
Okay.
It was never the Red Sea.
I bet.
Ever in the history of us watching the show. I would love to, like, there's got to be a wiki of like every single episode, right? Of every single puzzle. I want to go back and find out if there was ever a puzzle that was solved that was the Red Sea. Because as far as we know, it never was. We even got to the point that we'd finish dinner quickly and then we'd go to watch the Red Sea. So we just called Wheel of Fortune the Red Sea. That was our inside joke in the house.
Nice.
You know, that kind of stuff, you know. And, you know, there was a few good stories about my dad, but it's just, I look back at it and I'm like, he kind of got shortchanged on his obituary because my mom wrote it. So she only wrote like his retirement years. Didn't bother with anything else, just his retirement years. It's like, what the hell? Like, it's like he had 70 years of fucking life that were just neglected effectively.
I imagine it had to be hard to write, though, you know?
I mean, maybe. It's like, you know, and in she also, I don't know, my mom's so fucking weird, even before her brain went sideways, you know, she just, I don't know. Today made me sad. Not for Rodney. Obviously, I'm sad for Rodney. He's my friend. You know, I gave him a big hug. Actually, gave him a couple big hugs today. Got to see his family. Hadn't seen his family in a long time. His kids all grown up. You know, his oldest daughter married off already. His son, which I didn't really talk to, I just kind of looked at him and nodded. You know, with his half green hair.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's an anime kid.
Okay.
Last time I really saw him, he had like tiger striped hair. I
Okay.
forget if he lost a bet or something, but that was years ago. And then his youngest daughter, who was engaged, so they're all getting ready there. I talked to his either very recently or soon to be ex-wife, because we were such good friends. Like Mai is one of the sweetest people on the planet. Like she came here barely speaking English and had to learn like how to be an American, and then finally last year literally became one.
Mhm.
We were having an immigration discussion before we got rolling, and she did it the right way. I mean, she did
More power to her.
she did marry an American soldier. So that was already, the foot in the door. You get part of it, but she wanted to be a proper, real American because she also was slightly scared that Trump would deport her somehow.
Oh.
So she went ahead and did her whole citizenship thing, and literally shortly after getting her proper citizenship, decided to divorce Rodney. So whatever, 20 years of marriage. So I guess it is what it is, Kids are raised and out that fucking house, and she wants to go live a little bit more life, and he wants to keep living his life here, and it's just not necessarily on bad terms, just sad ones.
Yeah.
They're not hateful. It's just like, well, shit,
Yeah.
So she still wants to go live a little life while she's got some life to live. I don't blame her necessarily, but we were talking about that, and I'm just like, oh yeah. So, but it was really nice to see her because I hadn't seen her in years.
I kind of hope my comments on the last episode. I mean, I know there's definitely going to be some people out there that, have feelings about them. And I still stand largely on what I said, but I hope I didn't come across as like too brash or like too cruel or anything like that. Like I do support the people who are trying to make a better life for themselves and doing things the right way.
Absolutely.
It's the not doing it the right way part, or it's the entitlement aspect that like America owes it to anybody. That's those two ideas I have a problem with. Nobody is owed it, and if you're gonna do it the wrong way, you damn sure don't deserve it. So
yeah, so let's just jump right into that then, because that's what we were talking. I told you to hold the conversation because you were about to start this whole big conversation in the living room. I was like, let's just roll the cameras and then we'll talk. So, as a child of an immigrant who had to do things the slow way. My mom came here as a baby. My family, her family was all immigrants from Ukraine, came over here from France. They went, Ukraine basically didn't exist anymore. They went from Germany as slaves and then eventually got around to France and then made their way over here. They did not go through Ellis Island. That was corrected. So, there was other ports of entry, but, they came through the right way. There's documentation of them. And one thing that my friend Johnny was finding fascinating is that like they all got Americanized names.
They changed their names?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like they all had their original names. Some of them are very similar. So like my mom's name is closer to Olena, but it's Helen.
I got you.
Or Helena or Helena.
Timothy and Timoteo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
But the biggest case of like one that didn't bother changing anything was my uncle Vassal.
Vassal.
Yeah, so Vassal, Vasily, anything like that. But his Americanized name is Bill.
Okay.
So his coworkers who couldn't say Vassal just called him Bill. So he would go by both, but everyone called him Vassal who knew better. But in professional settings he was Bill. But like my Aunt Teresa, she's probably got one of the biggest name changes. Now mind you, they did have kids here, so those just had American names to begin with. They only had a couple before they came over here. So my Aunt Teresa, her actual Ukrainian name is Paraska.
Paraska.
Now that doesn't mean that's Teresa. It just means that's what they did. It's just one of those things. And that's, as far as I know, that's not something that really happens anymore. Like I think some people do get Americanized names, or at least they choose one, especially if they have like some crazy foreign name, especially like from Asian cultures or like some of the Hindu ones where
a lot of Indian names.
A lot of Indian names. Some of them are really easy, some of them are not.
Right.
And that's fine. Like I got no problem with that as long as you're coming about it the right way, not the way the phone scammers do. Oh, this is George Washington,
I've gotten those calls where it's a guy who has that kind of accent and he's like, "Oh, I'm Bob." Like you don't sound like a Bob to me, but
it sounded very Scottish, not Indian. That's funny. Bob. Actually, Scottish and Indian are pretty similar. English Indian gets a little similar to Scottish in some of the accent, which actually kind of makes sense. But we've talked immigration here before, and I am not against having legal immigrants here.
Yeah.
In any way. Like do the right thing, come over here, especially if you have applicable skills. Like there's the whole big conversation about H-1B visas and the O-1 visas, all these other things. In like the actual immigration, there is an actual immigration crisis, not just the illegal one. The legal one is also a crisis.
Yeah.
People come over here on lies, like all the time. Like
All the time.
they claim all these things, and I forgot the actual stat on it. Somebody correct me or me if you can find it in the edit. The actual amount of Indian people who come here and claim to be doctors that have zero doctorate training when they come over here. And it's like, or they have some medical training, but they're not doctors.
Yeah.
And they just go right into it because they're like, oh, yeah, Indian person from, what? Yeah, they're a doctor for sure. And so here's one thing. Oh, so something that didn't get to come up on the last show as I've rewatched our discussion over and over. There was a couple things I didn't get to say. I either got interrupted or we moved on past it, so I didn't get a chance to say it. So one of the things that, especially with you and I, as we were talking about being smarter than everybody else in the room, but we both have blue-collar jobs, so people might look down on us. There's a thing called bigotry of low expectations. So that applies in a bunch of different fields, but in the same way, like I've got a very shitty job. It's a good job, but it's a shitty job. And people like appreciate what I do, but at the same time would look down on me in my uniform and being filthy and sweaty and disgusting, and probably at some point discount anything smart I might say.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way, like you coming off from working a really hard construction job, building somebody's entire backyard from dirt, to, amazing patio back there and, everything else like that. They will definitely appreciate your craftsmanship, but at the same time, somebody might just see you in your torn up, burned up shirt and then just think lesser of you, not knowing anything about you.
Sure.
And may only expect so much out of you given just the cover, as it were,
Sure.
the book cover.
Yeah.
You know what I
what you
mean? So at the same time, there's the bigotry of low expectations in a different direction, which I've discussed on this show before. And that's where things like affirmative action come in place. I know we're jumping around a little bit here because it does also apply to some of this immigration as well.
Sure.
Because with affirmative action, basically it's, we have a certain quota of people of color, whether that's specifically black people or some others,
right,
that have to fill these positions or these they have to be a certain amount of students. We'll just say
sure.
college.
Well, like the scandal at Harvard, right?
Yes, a scandal at Harvard, absolutely,
Right.
with the Asians
Right.
and otherwise. But the point is that those are things that used to be based purely on merit. We talked a lot about merit on the last go around because your grades are what mattered. Your effort you put into your admission essay or all these other things mattered a lot. Your GPA, your test scores, all these things used to matter more than the color of your skin.
Yeah.
Now, administrators and admissions have to look at your skin first. And that didn't start when you graduated. That probably started when you were also lumped in with the No Kid Left Behind situation.
Sure.
So the sad reality is, and this came up on a Louder with Crowder segment years ago. I was talking to a girl at UT Austin, I believe it was, or not UT, the other one out over there. But basically, the girl said that, like, yeah, she had a great score and everything else like that, but she didn't know whether or not she's there on her own merit or just because she was black. And when he explained it to her that way, she's all like, well, I feel like I earned my way here. And he's like, you definitely probably did, especially if you had this great GPA and everything. But how do you know they even looked at your GPA?
Yeah.
Because, and he's not trying to downplay her actual effort. He was instilling the idea that, yes, you put in the effort, but you don't know if that's why they let you in.
Right.
Because you will forever be held to just your skin color, then your mind.
It's the equivalent of a participation trophy almost.
Yes.
It's like, okay, so those guys that got into Harvard despite the Asian candidates that scored higher on the test, had higher GPAs, maybe wrote better essays.
They actually have to. Asians are held to a higher standard.
Right.
Period.
Right. And it's so weird to me. It's there. What's that called? The Cobra effect. Whenever you attempt so hard to do something that the opposite outcome actually is what you get.
Isn't it the Streisand effect?
Am I missing? Or maybe
No, but I mean, Streisand effect's the same thing.
Right.
Because her house got doxxed and she got pissed off and she said, no, stop sharing my stuff. And then it turned into everybody now coming to her house.
I might have misspoke. I mean, I'm not
well, I mean, that might have been a thing beforehand, but
Yeah.
it is definitely a Streisand
But
effect.
effectively, I mean, same thing by whatever name. What we're talking about is, like in our attempts to bring about equality, we are circumventing it intentionally in some areas, and that to me, I think, is crazy. I think meritocracy is the best system for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And if there's a particular demographic that excels in one area over others, then I mean, I don't really know what to say about that other than that's just what the data shows.
If they actually, yeah. I mean, if you actually can show that someone just does better,
Yeah.
like we know for the most part, Asians do tend to score higher.
Right. So then what we should be doing is analyzing their education systems and trying to mimic their success instead of being like, oh, our way is equal to yours, even though it obviously is fucking not. Like,
Well,
when do we stop lying to ourselves and go, okay, here's areas where we can improve.
Yeah.
Here's areas where we're doing well. And here's what we need to do to fix the problems that we're having in these other areas and accept that for the reality that it is. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Asian, white people are scoring as high in mathematics as Asians. That's objective.
Some might.
I mean, some
women might actually.
But on average, what we're talking about, right? When you're just talking about like broad, race-based statistics.
How dare you?
It's fucking not true,
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, what are they doing different? How are they teaching math different? How are their kids, what kind of activities or whatever, like.
Well, they hold themselves to a different standard. And this is something that, and this is a big topic, but we've talked about it before, but we know that weirdly enough, people of different races are different.
Shocker,
that there's cultural differences. Now, here's the problem. You can have quote unquote black culture.
Whatever that means.
Whatever that means.
Yeah.
But here's the problem is that we know what black culture means in modern day, and it's not a good thing.
Like, you mean here in the United States?
Yes, here in the
it's
because
largely associated
black
with,
doesn't black is only here.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's
Capital B black.
I got you.
So the thing is that Asians almost across the board have some type of honor-based system. The parents are usually harder on their kids to a degree. They want them to succeed. Like, for instance, Rodney's kids, they're all half Okinawan, right? They're all stupid fucking smart. They're all been ahead of everything. Kaidi is a fucking engineer for Disney in like the proper engineering, not like running animatronics, although he did do some of that too. But like, he's a fucking genius. And like, they're geniuses in their own different way, but they get some of that from just their mom, who's a hard working bitch. Like, and we know this for a fact that Americans, by and large, and especially white Americans, have been trained to be lazy and expect everything to be handed to them. Now, here's the thing. No one ever told you that you were just going to be given everything until someone eventually said, oh, because you're white, you clearly are supposed to get everything.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the same time, people of a very specific other culture were told,
The
hey,
exact opposite.
you aren't going to be given anything. In fact, you have to struggle and you are lesser than.
I think those rhetorics are abusive.
And here's the funny part.
And
The
they're
same
poor.
people said both things.
Yeah.
And it's often confused as to what type of person said that. We know who said
That
that.
reminds me, there's a comedian that did a skit like this. The the difference, the similarities between like racists and liberals, and like what they believe, you know? And
did you see the College Humor sketch where the chick goes back in time to kill Hitler, and then as a liberal college girl goes back in time to kill Hitler, and then realizes that she agrees with Hitler like 90%, even to the point of blaming the Jews for everything. He's like, see, like Hitler literally talks her out of killing him. It's like,
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
I think it was a College Humor sketch.
It makes sense. They're usually pretty good about those things. But it's just the idea that the same side told white people that they don't have to work for anything, and that they're the golden children, so to speak, and told people of other races, oh, you're going to have to work for everything because they're getting everything. And one thing we were talking about, and I never got to say it, it's a feeling I've always had. Nobody's better than anybody else. On a flat level, nobody is better than anyone else.
Right, that's a Christian principle. We're all equal in the eyes of God, all children of God, that sort of thing. We have intrinsic value just as
we all have equal intrinsic value.
Right.
Now, are all people equal?
Not in a practical
not in a practical sense.
No.
And here's the funny part. I'm going to say something out of a particular type of book. Some people are a little bit more equal than others. However, that doesn't mean that they take more from everybody else. But people do have different value when it comes to society. And I don't mean racial or anything else like that. If you don't have an applied value in the thing that you bring to this world, then you are worth less than someone who does.
In that given context.
In that context, a person who, like, for instance, you have incredibly marketable, valuable skills in building and welding and all these other things.
Sure.
You're infinitely more valuable than somebody who's just laying on the fucking couch all day bitching about what somebody else has that they don't.
Right. Yeah.
Infinitely more value. Like, but in the eyes of God, we're technically created equal from the creator.
Right. Well, so like you,
but once we're here, we're not equal.
Right. Well, you, me, the CEO of whatever X corporation, the president, the foreign, prime minister of whatever foreign nation, whatever, all in the eyes of God, we're all children of God, we're all people. But like, we don't have intrinsic, we don't have equal, we do have intrinsic value in that sense, but we don't have equal value in usefulness, and not even across any like a CEO who maybe is like let's take Elon Musk. He's arguably a tech genius.
He's the easiest one to target right now.
Sure, why not?
By both sides.
Is he the best ballet dancer? Right, like he's useless.
He looks very awkward.
Right, but I mean, he would be useless in this regard. Just like I would be useless as a ballet dancer. But out there somewhere is a ballet dancer who's the best in the world, but she probably can't weld. You know what I mean? Like there's everybody
is as equal to everyone else in the thing that they're useful for.
Right. So like God views the president of the United States and the guy doing the fentanyl lean the same way. Like they're my children, whatever. Yeah. But like the guy who is doing the fentanyl lean would probably do a really shitty job running the country. Not that anybody does a good job running the country. But
well, we know some of them do cocaine, so it is.
At least a few.
But here's the thing. There's also personality types that are definitely led differently. Like, obviously, people with a little bit of megalomania are pretty good at running countries.
Very good.
People with big fucking egos
tend
to run countries pretty good. However, they also tend to be successful in the things that they do because they demand respect. They put in effort. People say they don't because they don't see the effort that gets put in. Like, people bitch all the time about Elon Musk. I don't think they realize that motherfucker works like 17 hours a day.
They don't. They have no idea. They have no clue. The people bitching about that are some of the most ignorant people. No offense if you're hearing.
No offense if you're ignorant.
A little bit of offense. I mean, it's like I run a tiny business.
Yeah.
Especially in comparison to something like X or Tesla or the boring company.
Even what I do.
Right. I mean, it's insanely small.
Yeah,
and relatively speaking, to corporations of those size or corporations like Amazon. I mean, we're talking about.
You're a small business in a small business world.
The amount of work, unpaid, unappreciated, just I can't say it's not productive, but I mean it kind of isn't, right? It's not like any of the estimates I write, the driving around, all of these measurements, calling 811, going to networking groups, just the list goes on and on. All these useless
researching things, watching videos,
right, yes, just that
checking modern styles of things. Somebody asks for something and you got to go see what the fuck it is.
I spent like 2 hours the other day like transferring things from one account to another account because I'm not using the same invoice processing app anymore.
Yeah,
like it's ridiculous. And it's all, not only is it done for free, but almost all of it actually fucking cost me money, or cost me it has a cost to it that doesn't return anything back to me unless I'm like lucky. Not
monetarily.
Well, right, but
you're gaining knowledge, especially in having to change invoicing software.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. I am learning in that sense, but from a financial standpoint, none of it makes me any money.
In the same way, people think that I just come in here, turn on the cameras, and talk to the thing, and that's,
no way.
That's the end of this podcast. You've seen a little bit of what I did just for the live shows.
Yeah,
like the sheer amount of shit that I put in, and by the way, guys, we're talking about just moving stuff, packing stuff, the logistics of setting up this live show, things I've never fucking done before. I reached out to people who I knew had done stuff like this before. I reached out to Shay because she had t-shirt connections. Like, how do I make this thing work? Not to mention she's a designer, so now we can get Pantones, we can get right color codes, other than just going on my shit. Helping me learn Canva because I didn't know how to do that, so I can make better posters and all these other things for Elite. I didn't get paid for any of the shit.
Right.
And when I say, and I mentioned it last time, that episode 200 is an absolute financial failure, it is. I am still well in the hole, not even close to a quarter of the cost of it I got back. By the way, guys, buy 200 merch. I'll have a link. I've got glassware, the coins, and the shirts. If you want to buy combos, I can set it up, which is going to cost money and effort because I'm going to have to pack stuff to send it to people. There's going to be more things I have to buy, which means more cost on you guys' end. But everybody thinks that podcasting and doing YouTube doesn't take any effort.
No.
And mind you, this channel's not monetized.
Right.
I get nothing. This is literally all of the equipment in here. The fucking lights, the stands I've got here, the podcasting
paid
software.
You bought with your actual job.
I bought with my day job.
Yeah.
And then the Patreon helps a little bit. And I mean just that much. But sometimes I rely on the Patreon to buy fucking groceries. There's literally one time where I'm like, I'm fucking broke right now. And we have no food. And just that day, the Patreon money hit. Now, mind you, this was years ago when groceries were cheaper. So I took the $80 that I got from Patreon that month, and I went and bought groceries because I didn't have fucking cash otherwise.
I used a Home Depot gift card that my grandmother gave me to buy materials for a project the other day.
Why wouldn't you? Fuck yeah.
I'm just saying that
tax
like,
free.
Going on that same point is I mean, it's, you got to do what you got to do. And it is difficult. There is a lot of effort that goes into it.
Yeah.
And I found that the people that like piss and moan the most tend to do the least, and
that's what we're talking about. This value. This is actually a value judgment that we're making here. Normally, I try not to impose any kind of value judgment, but in this case, we are, because you work your ass off behind the scenes to keep your business going, and don't get paid for a chunk of it. But that means that you can do the job when it's time to go.
Right. Yeah.
And who's going to pay you to do that? Nobody.
Right.
And you can't necessarily factor that in. I do all this work behind the scenes, literally the last 2 fucking weeks, almost every single night, editing for hours, because it wasn't going to take care of itself.
Yeah.
I can't afford an editor. I can't afford the show. But I do it because it's something I want to fucking do, and I believe in it, and it's something I put an effort into. And something Jessica realized the other day, that I was kind of down on myself. And she said, like, look, I know things didn't work out, and we'll figure stuff out on the other side of it, but I'm very proud of you for what you did, even though I didn't necessarily show it in the moment, And look at it this way, guys. The investment that I have in doing this show as a whole, not just the live show, is based on my relationships more than money.
Yeah.
Like, I know you guys from church, and we built up a friendship outside of that. Hefe, I met at a bar, and we've hung out. And when I needed a podcast co-host, he was there. Chad came along eventually. Obviously Chad hadn't been on the show in a little while because he's trying to get his own business. Once again, money, you're sinking into things just to keep going. He took a bet on himself to get his own business off the fucking ground, much like everybody who ever fucking does. You take a bet on yourself and you put in a fuckload of sleepless nights, a fuckload of unpaid days, because eventually it's gonna fucking pay off somewhere. But not if you're sitting on the fucking couch being a useless fucking lump complaining that somebody has something that you don't.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I can see how sometimes it's easy to be that guy,
It's very easy to be that guy. Takes no effort.
Yeah.
It takes no effort to be that person.
I mean, but I can sympathize with the headspace,
Of course.
And
being useless is easy to think.
In these 4 years, I've struggled sometimes. I'm like, man, it would literally be easier just to go get a job. You know what I mean? I'd probably make more money too.
And you might have to at some point again.
Sure.
Go get a secondary job just for fun.
And it's like, and I know people that are doing, I don't want to say better than me, but like seem to be,
Yeah.
And they bitch and moan more.
And you talked about your very well-to-do real estate friend who has a mutual friend who was complaining despite.
Right. Yeah.
But and that's the mo money mo problems.
Maybe so.
Like, because that was one of the most apt fucking things ever put to a record was mo money mo problems. It's like, yeah, the people who make the most money can have room to bitch because there's so much more than you that has a day job don't even fucking understand.
The socialist types, they get under my skin quite a bit, and it's because there's so many of them are so ignorant. It's like mostly idealistic college students. They have no real understanding of how things work.
Did you watch the thing I sent you from Trigonometry?
Yes, I did.
Okay, yeah. So that guy literally telling us why these kids are fucking so angry and why they latch on to socialism.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it because we were kind of fed a bill of goods. I mean, I have student loans that I can hardly afford to pay back.
Yeah.
I have,
you didn't demand Biden do it hard enough.
Yeah, but see, I don't. The thing is, I also don't think. Here's the thing: I took out those loans. I want to pay them back.
What?
I don't want anybody to do that for me.
But Tim,
I just want
predatory loans, and they shouldn't have done that.
And they were, and I believe that. I do. I agree that they were predatory loans. Yeah. I still did.
You should be bailed out, just like they bailed out the big corporations.
No, I think the corporation should fail.
Yeah,
and I think that I should fail too if I can't do it. But what I was promised was an economy strong enough to do it in. Yeah. That's what I want. I don't want anyone to do anything for me. I just want everything else to get the fuck out of my way.
Absolutely.
That's and
just saying about the economy that and goddamn, this is the biggest lie our generation was sold, and I'm just slightly ahead of you, right? Go to college, you're gonna get a big paying
exactly
job.
Bullshit.
And that is true for about 5%, maybe 8% of people. And those are going to be doctors and lawyers. Those are the people who get fed into their jobs because when you get high enough in that, it's not about what you do. It's about who you know. And that's just how the system works because
we live in a very nepotism.
There's a lot of,
is that a word? Nepotistic?
It is now.
There's a lot of nepotism in our society for sure.
There is. And the thing is, it's always going to be that way. It's never going to change. But here's also the thing about it. It doesn't mean that is inherently bad because it doesn't mean you're going to get a bad doctor or a bad lawyer. Does it mean that they got a slight leg up on you? Sure. But also, they didn't take a fucking welding class and you got to go build their fucking $10,000 fence for them.
Right. That's a fair deal.
Yeah. It's like, hey,
I've built fences for rich people before. I love those.
Exactly.
Jobs,
So I was like, here's the other thing. And this is something I said to you that I don't think you necessarily caught in the last episode. If the game is hold on, you said something about the game being rigged against you. And I said, well, here's the problem. Unless it's your game, you just got to learn how to play it.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to learn how to play the game that is rigged against you, because the only reason it's rigged against you is because you don't know what the rules are.
Sure.
Once you know the rules are, and then you can play along in your own way. Now, you might know or take advantage of a situation. Like, you can build very expensive fences and gates for rich people. That's fucking awesome. Because that's something I can't do.
Sure.
I mean, I can help you do that. If I'm bored, I can come fucking work for you one day. But the other side of it is, are you going to be mad because you're not a doctor?
No.
Did you want to be a doctor?
No,
You did say some things you thought about what you were doing. Oh, my computer's my camera is severely lagging right now. Hold on.
it is a little bit. Yeah, I can see on this side.
Like really bad. Yours is fine. Mine's lagging.
I mean, right out of high school, I wanted to be a firefighter paramedic, and I was going to school to do that.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, truth be told, I made some poor choices,
It happens.
and
You had a kid.
well, I mean that, but I don't think that was necessarily the poor choice. I was still in
No,
the
but that
program.
was something that
No, I fucked around and got into some fights, you know.
You?
And and yeah, I mean, especially when I was younger, a little less disciplined. You know, so I ended up catching a case, and that was that. You know, they don't really let firefighters in when they've been arrested for aggravated assault. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but that is the way that panned out, and it sucks. It sucks, but that was you live with the choices you make. I think some of it's a little bit tough, a little bit strict, and I do think that I could go back and do it now. You know, it's been so long, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that ship's kind of sailed. I'm invested in some other things. Yeah, now I'm seeing myself on your camera.
Yep. That's facing the wrong way.
Okay.
So what I did there was I accidentally. Oop, now I switched yours to facing me. We're batting a million today, guys. I accidentally tapped the screen where it there we go.
We might edit.
It's probably no, I'm gonna leave it in because I don't mind those fuck ups. It's funny. I'm gonna guess that the phone is going through an update, which is why it's lagging. That happens. But like you were saying, you know,
everyone's dealt a hand. You got to play it as best you can.
Yeah.
Maybe someone else had a better hand. So
Yeah,
what?
so
you
what?
know? And it's not.
And going back just to the game analogy. Okay, cool. This game's rigged against you. Go play another game.
Sure. Yeah.
But hey, better yet, set up your own fucking game.
Well, I did. So I reached a point where I was like, okay, so the firefighter thing didn't work out. Maybe I can, you know, I was a good writer when I was in school.
Sure.
My dad thought I had a talent for that. Thought maybe I should lean into that. So I took his advice and I went to school for PR, psychology.
Yeah, that's what you're telling me.
I was working on like taking creative writing courses and things like that. I was interested in being a journalist, specifically, you know, like an investigative journalist. I like to, you know, when I see injustice, I want to attack it. And that's a means for me to be able to do that. Now, I did learn in the course that the media was pretty fucked up.
Yep. And this was back then, not even now.
Yeah, it was bad then. I can only imagine what it's like now.
Horrible.
But
it's all lies.
Unless you're what's that? I remember just brain farted on that guy's name. The one who's been going around recently doing
Nick Shirley.
Nick Shirley. That's what I wanted to say. Sheeply, but that was right. Yeah, I mean, there's a.
And he's not even a journalist.
No,
he's just a YouTuber.
See, but that's the thing, you know. And then of course I was paying all this money, going to school, taking out student loans, so I could do this thing that I ultimately ended up not doing anyway because I was so disenfranchised by the shit that I learned while I was in it. I just ended up going into the oil field. Like, hey man, where can a felon go make good money?
Yeah,
that's where.
That's definitely. They will take anybody. That's like the wall in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can go take the black. They don't give a fuck who you are.
I took the fucking black, you know? And honestly, that did more for me in my life and being able to get to the point that I'm at now than any of those other things I did.
Yeah, you learn more by not doing the thing you thought you needed to do.
Well, I mean...
But also, you didn't give up. I'm sure there were plenty of times when you wanted to give up when you saw that the fucking game was shit.
I was pretty angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was... And I mean, I guess I can't say that all of that anger is even dissipated at this point.
No, you're a very angry guy.
I am upset by the amount of injustice in our society. For a society that paints itself as being this like wholly benevolent thing, and we're better than everybody else, and so on and so forth, we're egregiously full of shit in that thought process.
So, just on that argument alone, I will say, yes, we are better than everyone else, but it doesn't mean we're the best.
Sure.
Because what's the old quote? Democracy is the best form of government when compared against all other forms of government.
I don't even know that I agree with that.
But no, it is. Like, compared to everything that has come before, communism, socialism, all the other shit that has happened.
Compared to those, it's
monarchy. Like, technically speaking, democracy is still bullshit the way we use it, but it's still the best form of bullshit that we have until the next best thing comes about. But we haven't gotten there yet because, of course, we stay where we are right now. But kind of what you're getting at.
What is it called when it's not full democracy? It's like a limited democracy.
I mean, that's basically what we have.
I can't. I mean, because we're a republic, right? But that's not the term.
We're a democratic republic, so to speak.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's multiple ways to put what we technically are, but effectively we are a democratic republic.
I kind of think that democracy, like pure democracy, like
Pure democracy is bad.
I think it's retard mob rule.
It is. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And that's what they want. So the problem is that these socialists that are coming in now, they want to abolish the republic idea and go for direct democracy. So mob rule does make the difference. However, we've seen, at least since 2020, that we are in partial direct democracy because we allow large groups of violent fucktards to determine what is and is not right.
Yeah.
Like what happened, you mentioned Derek Chauvin. What happened to him is not right. That was social pressure. That had nothing to do with a court case.
Yeah.
That is like he was put in jail forever, and honestly, his appeal should be truly considered by the actual Supreme Court because he'll never get a fair shake. Nowhere in Minnesota was he ever going to get a fucking fair shake. Nowhere.
That's 100% true. Yeah.
And Kyle Rittenhouse got lucky because he had a judge that was willing to fucking listen. And even then, you even had Maxine Waters calling for people to bully the jurors and bully the judge and riot until they got the thing, that the verdict they wanted.
That I don't see how that
mob rule.
I don't see how that in and of itself.
She should have been in jail.
Yeah,
that was a crime. What she did, she called for action to directly interfere with a court case. A sitting member of Congress did that.
Yeah, but
because of her skin color and her Democratic leaning, she was never going to face that. Well, and you brought up the whole Jeffrey Epstein last time. And while there's a lot of points to be made there, there's a bigger thing going on right now. And that's the fact that they've proven without a doubt Fauci had been lying the entire time about the origin of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
He knew. He absolutely knew where it came from. He lied. And then they had the entire system cover for the lie.
Mm-hmm.
Creating falsehoods everywhere. It's like all because it would lead back to him in the NIH, in the I forget what that foundation was that they were funding to EcoHealth Alliance. EcoHealth Alliance was the one who did that. Now that we know all that's true,
what's going to be done about it?
Here's the sad part. Nothing here. Because Biden gave him a blanket pardon for 11 years back. Weird. Going all the way back to 2014. I wonder why.
How can that be a thing?
It's horseshit. But here's the thing. The president has blanket pardon capabilities. He can pardon anybody as long as it's for federal crimes. First of all, there's no proof he committed any crimes at the time. So why would you pardon somebody who wasn't charged with a crime or convicted of a crime? So that is literal conspiracy right there. But here's the thing. Because COVID became a global thing, literally the entire fucking planet, every single country that doesn't have their head up their fucking ass should prosecute Fauci.
Yeah, and the problem is, I think even if he were to be prosecuted, and let's say he's found guilty, he's probably going to end up in some club fed somewhere.
Well, it depends on what country takes him out.
But are we going to extradite him? I mean, let's be honest here.
We should. Well, okay, this administration absolutely would.
I hope so.
This administration, if the UK got their head out of their ass and said, hey, we know what Fauci did. We know that your previous president pardoned him, but because these crimes are global, we must seek justice from him. But here's the problem. Here's the automatic problem. It was our money that did that.
So what?
The United States was directly involved with that happening.
Yeah, and I think that...
And then the United States covered it up.
There should be prosecutions within our own government. And if that goes all the way to Trump, then so fucking be it. Justice is justice.
And I don't think it does go all the way to Trump for that. But it definitely goes all the way up to Biden. Or at least Kamala.
Then good.
But here's the problem. He pardoned himself and his family as well. Why the fuck can you pardon
Then-
yourself and your
then we gotta-
family for crimes you've never been convicted of?
There's got to be a way to overturn that. I mean, that's exactly that.
And that's what Trump has been
a
attempting
part
to
of the-
do, but
that's a
we'll
part
s-
of the conspiracy.
It is. Now, see, there's a lot of things out there that people claim are conspiracies, and it's just people who aren't following the actual truth on things. It's not really a conspiracy, or
No,
I'm
I
sorry,
don't-
it's not a theory. Hold on.
I didn't mean conspiracy in the sense that
No, I understand. I'm explaining myself though, because there's a lot of people who say things are a conspiracy theory and this isn't true, blah 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 blah. Except that just means you're not following that particular thing. That's why Alex Jones seemed like an idiot or a prophet. It's like because all he
He
did
has
all
seemed
day
like
long
both.
was read documents from across the internet that most people wouldn't read.
right.
How did he accurately predict 9/11? Because he was reading all the shit coming from everywhere, all across the world that he could get his hands on.
You'd be so surprised what is openly available if you just take the time.
Yeah,
to
just
actually
take the
read
fucking
it.
time and really go and look, or know where to look more than anything.
That's yeah.
So, but the thing is, when it comes to a lot of the stuff that we were like, oh, that's fine. And then we find out it's like, oh no, this was literally covered up all the way to the top.
Yeah.
And we know this for a fact. And then they come out and they go, oh yeah, blanket pardons for everybody that happened to be involved with this, except for the one guy who is going to be our scapegoat.
Yeah. Well, and this is part of why I brought up the Club Fed thing.
Yeah.
It's because at this point in time, if you're an elite and you have a plan to do something that you know is going to be illegal or is perceived the wrong way, has bad optics, whatever it may have, whatever,
Sure.
they know that their punishment is a slap on the wrist. And the worst case scenario is essentially what other people would consider a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge mistake. And maybe some may think it's barbaric, but I think we need to bring back some of that old barbarism.
I
mean,
think-
Vlad the Impaler,
Well,
that sort of treatment to the people who were doing these things.
let's
That-
just not go there specifically.
I'm
mostly
just
because
saying, man.
Vlad just kind of killed whoever the fuck he wanted and put him up on
I don't
spikes.
mean willy-nilly, but that treatment, it
Now-
struck fear. If you were a politician and somebody came to you and was like,
Yeah.
hey, man, I think we should do this, or
Well-
we should cover this up, or there's this virus that's going to get
So-
released that we helped create.
So let me say this
Like-
to you. There's no real difference in what you're saying compared to what Maxine Waters did.
No, 'cause
Liter-
I'm saying
Hold on,
I'm
but
not
what
saying
I'm-
do this without, like, if they're found guilty,
But
instead of you get 10 years in Club Fed or whatever, like, oh,
what
you
does
get a
it
stake.
matter if they're found guilty as long as you got a mob angry enough to do something about it?
I mean, if we're going to follow the rule of law, that you can receive the death penalty.
Yeah.
But
So, but, and I'm not disagreeing with you on your actual point. I'm disagreeing, or not even disagreeing. I'm pointing out the fact that there's not a marked difference between the mob rules, justice / violence that we've already seen come from the left versus, hey, if we put a few of them on pikes, they'll get their shit in order.
I bet it would help.
It would help in the same way it has already helped. Changing people's actual minds. Okay, so the shit with Amy Coney Barrett recently with the birthright citizenship, that is 100% because she got doxxed and people came to her house.
Wait, I don't think I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so the few weeks ago, the Supreme Court took up birthright citizenship.
So that's not a thing anymore?
Oh no, they solidified it.
What?
Instead of realizing that the argument is we don't have magic soil and just because you're born here doesn't make you a citizen, they said, no, it's fine. That's exactly what the original Constitution meant when they wrote that 13th Amendment.
It's literally not, though.
No, it's not. And that's what and she's supposed to
And there's
be.
what school of thought even brought around the idea that it possibly could be
People
a thing?
threatened her and her children's lives. That is the school of thought. The last few things that she ruled upon, she 100% switched her opinions on. Like from what she would have said if she was originally I think she was a textualist, which means whatever it says is what it means. And there's some people who go by modern interpretations and update the Constitution. Some people go off purely what it said then, and that's it. No modern interpretation. I forget which one she is, but it was the one that basically, like, she used to be very smart on some of these things. Hell, she helped overturn Roe v. Wade, right? But in this case, in a very obvious thing about birthright citizenship. And mind you, that would also mean that anybody who came here, including my own fucking aunts and uncles who were born here, they wouldn't just be citizens because they were born here. They would also have to be, like, they would have to go through the citizenship test because they were born to foreign nationals on U.S. soil. It shouldn't be automatic, which is, and by saying that, they basically fucked.
That's treason, in my opinion.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's treason at the fucking barrel of a gun.
We have recorded fucking instances already of like Islamist families coming over here where women popping out kids. Now that kid is a fucking citizen.
Yep.
And then they just take his ass right back to the Middle East, raise him up to be
look at China and Guam. The Chinese birth tourism.
The problem is that we live in a retarded fucking society that has no concept that warfare has evolved beyond kinetic warfare. We live in a time of fourth and fifth generation warfare. No, but I'm saying the people that are making these votes, these fucking retards that were threatening her, right? Like, you're so fucking stupid. And this is why I'm so against democracy, if you want my honest opinion, is it is literally retard mob rule. You just need smart people who are able to control the optics and the information and manipulate the fucking stupid people. And that is the time that we live in right now. In all reality, we are at war. We have been at war. We exist as we speak right now in a state of fourth and fifth generation warfare.
Yeah.
You and I are in the process of combating it with this fucking conversation.
Are we combating it or are we adding to it?
Because there is right and wrong, and I think we're on the right side. The fact is that
we're going back to the sides argument we brought up yet last time.
But there are sides. There's sides. Good and there's evil. There's right and there's wrong. Yeah. And you know there does exist a gray area, and these conversations are about fleshing out that gray area and figuring out what is the best to do in a given situation that may be somewhat gray.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, we don't have the money, the resources, the space, any of that to be
clearly
like
not resources.
The world's fucking savior. Okay, there's going to have to be some degree of people who bloom where they're planted. There's going to have to be some people who decide to stay behind, fight the good fight, make the changes that need to be made, or fail in the attempt. But you don't just get to abandon all of your problems, come over here, be a fucking welfare baby, and get taken care of by everybody else. That's not realistic, and that's not good or right.
No, and I'm not going to argue against that point but there are situations when you're coming from a communist dictatorship and your country's falling apart, where you are escaping something fucking horrible. Now, that is a real thing. But as long as you are willing...
Then you're a refugee, not a fucking citizen.
Yes, and I agree with that. But that doesn't mean you can't be a citizen. It just means that you still have to go through the paperwork.
Yeah, but you don't get to squeeze a kid out and he's a citizen. You don't get to vote. Like, fuck all that nonsense.
Correct. No, I'm not going to argue that. But the point is that you have... The Biden administration let in upwards of 30 million people. We don't know the exact number, but we know it's between 10 and 20. A lot of people argue way higher than that.
If that's what they're recording, it's like a girl's body count. It's at least 3 fucking times. They're telling you.
Well, it can't be 90 million. That would be way too many. We don't have that many people here.
That was half a joke.
Yeah. But no, I get your point. But if they're saying 10 to 20, it's probably closer to 30. But the point is that they brought people in, basically gave everybody refugee status, no matter what they are, where they came from. They let them into this country by literally removing the borders from in front of them, setting up government-funded and run checkpoints to bring in illegals, go, yep, here's your cell phone, here's your money, get in this nice black van, we'll take you to your home.
Who are the fucking retards that did this? At a certain
point, the Biden administration?
No, but I'm talking about the actual individual people. Like, if I was an ICE agent and those were the orders I would give in,
and some of them
I would not fucking do it.
And some of them did quit, and that's how we know some of the things they did. Some of them were whistleblowers who told everybody, like Biden taking migrant children across the country and just dispersing them in planes overnight, flying them in unscheduled air flights into these airports all over the fucking country, and throwing these kids in fucking buses and hauling them off to nobody knows where.
That's human trafficking.
It was the Biden administration. This is a fact. This is not an opinion. The Biden administration literally was doing human trafficking.
We're not mad enough.
And we saw this on camera.
And you're trying to talk me out of fucking going crazy on these.
Well, here's the thing. I'd never said don't hold people responsible.
Yeah.
I just said don't fiery revolutionize.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I said.
I
Now, I recognize that if you make if you make peaceful resolution impossible, you make violent revolution inevitable.
Yeah.
That is a fact, because what we have seen, at least in the last 10 years, is one side doing their damnedest to get peaceful resolutions to things and move forward with proper justice, proper rule of law, and the other side saying no, and then hitting them with a big stick, and then setting the body on fire, and then putting on a blue wig and cutting off their dick. Yeah, sorry, I had to go there. But the point is that we've been psyoped so fucking hard.
Yeah.
In normies, like, I mean, calling you and me normies is already fucking a stretch, but we're far more normal than a lot of these other people. But the point is, we sit back and we get tired of it and we get angry, but we have to go to fucking work.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't
These
afford
other
to be an activist.
You can't, well, not like that anyways.
Yeah.
If you took some time, went to the city hall and, you know, all that stuff like James does, then you had time and you could do that. Thursdays apparently is when we do city hall meetings. So
didn't even know that.
Yeah, apparently, because that's where they keep going back every single Thursday, whether it's morning or evening, depending on the shift, because they switch it up.
I think I'm gonna get more involved. I mean, maybe I'm not the best guy to do it.
No, I think you're the best guy to do it, as long as you don't get your ass arrested like that guy did in forgot what fucking was that, in Missouri.
I saw that movie, that video you sent me. Yeah. And then he showed up to court and wouldn't give his name, and they tried to hold him in contempt and all.
Oh no, that one was retarded. But no, the other one was just a guy who got arrested for clapping.
For what?
Yeah, so he got arrested for clapping in a city council meeting. So it was basically people were protesting that.
Oh yeah, it's time to burn shit down.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Fucking
here's the thing, and this is my logical argument. We do not know what led up to that point.
Yeah.
We only see action and reaction, but we didn't get to see everything that led up to that moment.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. They were told at the outset of that city hall meeting that, hey, we're going to allow people to say their piece. We're not going to do hooting and hollering and screaming and clapping after everyone gets up and says their piece.
Yeah.
That's what they were told. Right off the get-go. Like, hey, look, we're going to
let aren't laws.
Well, they have 2 minutes of time. They want to get as many people through as possible. If you waste 6 minutes on people making a fuckload of noise, you're going to have 3 less people that can talk. So,
or they can just hold it a little longer, but I get.
Well, they do only have so much time. Like that is the thing.
We pay these people.
It's true.
Our representatives are meant to represent us.
And that's true, but here's the thing. You can say that they're here to represent us, but what if your voice didn't get heard because somebody was throwing a fucking fit?
No, I agree with what you're saying. And so my argument is that they shouldn't say, "Oh, it's going to end at 6 o'clock." Like, no, it's going to end at 6:30. So because we're still here and we still have shit to say.
I agree that that's what should happen, but time limits are a thing for a reason for everybody. Yeah. And so here's the thing: just like that's the same thing that happens at ours, where they have like they supposedly have 3 minutes, but I swear they cut them off at 2. So they might actually have a 3-minute total time limit. So like you can ask for another minute or whatever. Just be respectful. Don't just be an asshole. Yeah. Fucking what's the word I'm looking for? What is it when you just filibustering?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So the thing is if I had to guess, what happened there was not just some authoritarian mayor flexing her fucking pussy lips. I think that they had problems at previous fucking city hall meetings where people complained that they never got to fucking say their piece because all these people were causing a fucking ruckus between speeches. Yes, everybody's fed up in that place about what they're talking about. So there's the argument of make all the noise or let everyone talk.
I'm sure there's a good middle ground.
There probably was middle ground until somebody said, I'm going to make all the noise. Now, was there an overreaction? Yes. Because the dude just went after, I'm going to guess somebody he knew spoke, and lady made a good point. You see it in the video. And then the mayor literally says, "Chief, arrest that man if he claps again." And then he immediately starts arguing with her.
Well, that was a shitty thing to say. What did she think his reaction would be?
But the point is also that, one, they've already been told, hey, we're not going to do that so people can talk.
Just
Two,
arrest, though? Like,
she said the next time. She
but
didn't say-
arrest. I mean, personally,
mind
I
you-
took that as a
But-
challenge. Like,
Yes.
you're gonna flex on me. You want to lay your dick on my forehead?
Yeah.
Like,
And it
no,
wasn't-
it's
and-
not a fucking crime. The worst thing you can do is toss me out of this place. You're not
Which
gonna
is
fucking
effectively
arrest
what they
me.
did, but they had to toss him out via the police chief.
Well, that's not a.
And they did handcuff his ass and literally haul him out by his fucking
But I mean,
belt.
was he put in the cop car? Was
Yes.
he processed? He went to jail.
I think they probably let him out right after, but they did have to basically remove the disruption. Now, is it a dumb disruption? Yes.
And that
Did
was
they-
more
did-
of a disruption than
but-
him clapping. So that's
But
hypocritical.
and that's also the other point. Because he didn't comply a little, the result was a lot less people got to talk while they were dealing with him.
yeah.
So he did that, and then that's 10 or 15 minutes that people didn't get to talk. Now, you can, once again, peaceful resolution. And mind you, he did the very smallest amount of violent revolution, which was literally just clapping and having a minor argument. That's about as
Violent
that is about as simple of a violent revolution as you could possibly have.
It's not even violent.
No, but
by
that's my
any
point.
measure at all.
But that's my point, is that it was so small, the smallest possible thing of revolution, because they were told not to do it, and he just went ahead and did it. Now, is that guy slightly autistic? Maybe. And so maybe he just wanted to clap because he's that way, but I don't know. He just looks, whatever. You'd be like, I don't know if I would have arrested that guy for that.
That sounds like a
But-
power trip.
Okay, so, but once again, this might have been the 15th day in a row that they had after 16 times of things just being total fucking chaos. So once again, we don't know what led up to this one thing. Now people are outraged at this one thing. Now, is the guy charged with a major crime? No. What, did he have to spend an afternoon in jail? Definitely. Does he have to pay a massive fine? Probably not. I think it's like $100 or something, like just disturbing the peace, quote unquote. If that's the best they can do to you because of the minor thing you did, take that and then learn your lesson that, hey, other people needed to talk more than you needed to clap. Like, because it's not about the city, it's about the other people. And so the point is that whose First Amendment right gets to override someone else's?
I don't think that
Because everybody's saying it's a First Amendment violation.
sure.
Okay, but at the same time, him clapping stopped all these other people from being able to talk.
And I appreciate
And that's
the devil's advocate.
but
outlook,
that's always going to be the point.
But look, you and I, let's just be honest here, okay? The
Yeah.
obvious solution to that problem is the meeting runs a little long. That is the
It's the way it
obvious
should go.
solution to the problem.
But they also have a schedule.
To what?
Well, you got to remember also, these people, it's just like a business like any other. They have operating hours. So we've laid out
Then you're not-
this
then-
3-hour chunk of day that we can do this, and then we got to get back to work, just like you people got to get back to work.
Nonsense.
Well, I mean,
If you're a representative, you're a representative. That's what
but
you're
you
there.
also can't take up someone's time indefinitely, which is why they can't filibuster. So they have a meeting at a certain range of time, probably with a little bit of cushion. Let's be fair, there's probably some cushion. Should they go a little bit longer to accommodate? If people are following along, absolutely accommodate them. If people are being disruptive and shitty, why should you accommodate them for being disruptive and shitty?
Didn't we say last week we talked about, and this one might be changing subjects a little bit here, but
That's fine.
we talked about like those same people, board members that had signed NDAs, and so now they don't want to talk about things.
Sometimes, yeah,
Okay,
that happens. Any business can have you do that.
but you're a public servant.
You're a public servant, but that doesn't mean much because you are still. Look at it this way.
There should be a law that
so-
public servants do not sign NDAs.
So look.
Everything you do for the public should be public fucking knowledge. Period. Full stop.
And in a lot of ways, that's true. But here's the other thing: I don't have an NDA for my business that I work for. But there is a very real chance that just because I have opinions in this world, and someone knows where I work, I can be fired.
that sort of shit is stuff that shouldn't exist.
And
in
that's true,
society.
but I know people specifically that got fired because they went to their Facebook page after he made a comment on Facebook on someone else's post, mind you. It showed where he worked. That person contacted corporate, and then it trickled down, and then a random Facebook comment got him fired. It took him 6 months to get his job
I've had people
back.
trying to fucking dox me, and then they realize I work for myself, and I'm just like, bitch.
Yeah, who's going to fire you?
Yeah, call my fucking boss, please. I wish you would.
Well, that's the problem is when you work for yourself, the only other option they have is to call people bigger than you, and then that's when bad things start happening. So, I mean, donut operator just got swatted again, even at his new house.
Yeah, but if you're making up bullshit, then the person who called that and made that false claim so that guy who works at a donut shop got swatted.
Yeah.
That should fall back.
But he doesn't work at a donut
donut
shop. His name is Donut Operator.
Oh, donut operator. Okay.
He's an ex-cop.
Well, whatever the case may be, like
he's one of the biggest YouTubers and one of the biggest Twitter accounts.
He's
fucking famous.
I don't even hardly use Twitter at all.
Yeah, he's literally like top 17
X,
on Twitter.
Whatever.
Yeah. But the point is that when you don't have someone to hold you accountable within your job and someone hates you, they'll find the next person up, and the next person up is somebody with actual authority and guns.
But these are just
and
fucking
swatting.
dorks.
And mind you, swatting is illegal because you can kill somebody, but they use routers, they use fake things, they use all these other ways to submit the swatting. That it's not just a phone number they can trace back to Jimmy in fucking Oklahoma. Because the other part is, they can not even be locally.
That's a violation of what, the Fourth Amendment? The right to face my accuser?
Something like that. But the other part is like illegal search and seizure. There's a lot of things wrong with swatting.
So that just shouldn't be happening.
But here's the other problem.
These people shouldn't have this sort of dumb fucking unchecked power. That's ridiculous.
Who has the power?
I mean, if all someone has to do is call up an authority of some sort, make up some bullshit about somebody, they do it anonymously, and then this guy could potentially be swatted and fucking killed in the process.
Or the cops can be killed.
Because if people, dude, if someone fucking rolls up on my house and I don't know who you are, like, this is Texas, buddy.
Exactly.
Like,
so here's the thing. It's the 6th time the donut has been swatted between 3 different houses. And because he's got cameras and his dogs are pretty well trained, he heard it was coming, and he was live streaming because he live streams now on Twitch. He heard it coming, saw it on the security cameras, saw the cops lined up with their shields and guns, because it was told that he was holding his mom and sister at gunpoint, threatening to kill them. It's usually, these major threats of violence is what they call in. That's why they send a SWAT team, and they have to go. That's the problem. Because it's a reasonable call, and they have to respond with the right amount of force. Now, here's the thing. They should be aware of Cody. They should know exactly who he is, where he lives. All local authorities should already have him on a swattable list. Like, a lot of these famous people, like Tim Pool, famously swatted 15 times in 1 year.
Wow. Their
studio and his home and other properties they own were swatted 15 times. One time during what is now famously called Chaircast, because they called in a actual bomb threat. The cops came in the middle of the fucking show. Luckily, someone intercepted them in the driveway. That's the only reason why the cops didn't break down with force. But they had to search the entire fucking castle to make sure there wasn't a bomb. 3.5 hours the live stream was running and people watching it and commenting. They got like $45,000 in super chats that night just because people were chatting the entire time.
Wow.
But they had to be held outside until the cops swept the entire fucking house. The cops, you even see the cops come into the studio, like 2 or 3 of them, come to the studio to look around on the fucking live stream. So here's the thing. In this case, who actually has the power there? The cops? You? Or the person who hates you?
It's the person who hates you.
Okay, so that goes back to the fucking direct democracy. The violent fucking mobtard.
Yeah.
So this is a mobtard who is using...
But how in 2026 have we not figured out a way to get around this?
Because they get around the getting around.
This is insane.
And now they can use AI to spoof anything they want. They can do all of it. But here's the problem. You can only get so far ahead of it. But the thing is, they wouldn't try to kill you if you weren't saying something worth hearing.
Sure.
The only reason your voice is worth silencing is because it's saying something that they don't want other people to hear.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, some people have really violent and horrible rhetoric against other people. Like if you're calling for the death of specific types of people all the time, while technically First Amendment, at the same time, if you're telling people they should go do that, that's the First Amendment. That's not covered by the First Amendment. Disliking someone is fine. Should those people be able to say anything? Yes.
To be clear, we're talking about like psychopaths who have.
I'm talking about Hassan Piker specifically, but you know,
Okay.
he's a what's the word we're looking at. He is a fucking foreigner, born here, raised in Turkey or raised overseas, comes back here, gets fucking established by his uncle at the Young Turks, Cenk Uygur, if you're familiar with his name.
Yeah.
He gets set up with him. He's a multimillionaire. He's a socialist. He just did this big old fucking TED Talk dressed as Mao. Like, he had the same kind of fucking outfit Chairman Mao had and was literally talking about the benefits of Maoism to a TED Talk. And this guy is a multimillionaire. Flew over to Cuba to go see what he could do where the U.S. is, crushing the poor Cuban people. Him and a whole bunch of other socialist fucktards from YouTube and Twitch.
We live in
But here's the thing.
one hell of a time.
But here's the thing. I might disagree with what you're saying, but I support your right to say it. Unless it's, hey, someone should come kill me.
Sure. Yeah.
Which that was not an invitation. I was quotes. Quotes. But the point is that sure, you should be allowed to say ridiculous fucking things. We say ridiculous things on this show all the fucking time. Believe me, I watched it all the way through episode 200. We said some fucking ridiculous shit on that show. Is any of it worth fucking hurting somebody over? No, but could some fucktard who is literally useless and their blue hair dye fucking leaked? You know, they didn't quite get the blue they wanted. Yeah, I'm talking about you motherfuckers out there with your stupid blue hair. But it's just the point is that people who have nothing better to do, have no value in actual life, are the ones.
We came full circle. The people doing this shit are those fucking losers with too much time on their hands. They're living in their mom's fucking basement. Like,
and
who does that?
And their life has no value. So therefore, no life has no value. So the conversation you and I had the other day about these things, and what was the term I texted you about the emotion stuff?
Oh, that's right. We talked about the difference between, what was that term?
Yeah,
because I said that's essentially what, like,
yeah.
Damn,
scrolling up, it was I gotta scroll back up in our conversation. It was a good conversation, which, by the way, I was doing that while working. Oh yeah, ethical emotivism.
That's right, and I related that to subjective morality,
which
is
not the same thing.
Yeah, they're a little different.
So the whole point of ethical emotivism is realistically what these people do. And it sounds like, you see emotivism, which means yes, there's emotion involved. And subjective morality is different because that just means that there is no truth but my truth. Right. Which means they believe in a truth. It's going to be your truth. And we talked about this as well. He's like, you have your morality. You're right in your morality. I'm right in mine. They may not even line up, but because that's what I hold, that's the thing I believe, and that's the thing that is true. That is subjective morality. This one, I don't have do you have the image file? I can't pull it up on this phone. It was on my other one.
Let me take a look.
Because I sent you the definitions of it comparatively. Yeah, but basically, it means that there is no truth. There is just the emotion.
Yeah, it says ethical emotivism and subjective morality are closely related metaethically. That is, metaethically.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me start over. Ethical emotivism and subjective morality are closely related metaethical theories that reject the existence of objective moral facts, but they differ fundamentally in how they define the meaning of moral statements.
Yes.
The defining differences can be broken down into their mechanics and implications. Subjective morality, which is ethical subjectivism.
Yeah.
This theory posits that a moral statement that moral statements describe the speaker's personal attitudes, beliefs, or desires. When you say stealing is wrong, you are making a factual claim about your own internal psychological state, i.e., I disapprove of stealing.
Yeah.
Because it is a statement about your feelings, it is capable of being true or false. Ethical emotivism, often called boo hurrah theory, is non-cognitivist perspective. This non-cognitivist perspective argues that moral statements are not claims of fact at all. When you say stealing is wrong, you are not describing a feeling or stating a truth. Rather, you are expressing an emotion, like saying boo to stealing, or issuing a command to others. Therefore, these statements have no truth value. The clearest way to see the distinction is through how they handle disagreements and truth. Truth value. Emotivism claims statements like murder is wrong are neither true nor false, functioning solely as emotional outbursts. Subjectivism argues that they are factually true, provided that the speaker honestly holds the feeling of disapproval. Moral disagreement. Under subjective morality, two people can have a genuine debate because they are discussing their respective facts, i.e., I approve of X versus I disapprove of X.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
That's what we've been doing this entire episode. And the last one.
Under emotivism, moral debates are not rational disagreements at all, but rather emotional attempts to persuade or manipulate the other person into sharing the same feeling, which I think is, in a sense, the underlying goal of debate is to find a common ground where we can agree.
It's to find a common ground between definitions. And the point of debate is not necessarily to make the other person agree. It is just to express your side. Now, of course, you're going to add winning to that. That's another thing.
Sure.
But their whole point is actually just to make you feel what they feel. But the truth doesn't have to be involved. It's just the core of their argument is about the feeling of it, not that there's any right or wrong in it. The feelings in and of themselves are all the thing that matters. And when you have kids who, like you mentioned before, No Kids Left Behind, everyone's a winner. Everyone gets a fucking trophy.
Except it's like demonstrably false.
It's demonstrably false because there are objective realities when it comes to winning and losing. It's going all the way back to our first discussion about not everyone is created equal in effort and in morality. Not everyone is the same. Right. Now, legally speaking, we are all equal.
Right, because we all have equal intrinsic value.
We have equal intrinsic value. However, we have objective value differences.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as good a quarterback as Brady.
Nope.
Like, I'm not as valuable as he is as a quarterback, right? Like, and this is something that's so difficult and to like get dumb people to fucking understand is it's like you've been fed a bunch of like headlines, so to speak, or buzz phrases that
Facebook posts
that might be feel good,
Instagram, TikToks,
right? But the reality,
but here's the thing. First of all, I'm going to stop you right there because you were about to say something that's objective.
Reality.
Go right before what you just said. It might feel good.
Sure.
And when these people only know emotions, they have no concept of objective reality because they've been told that reality doesn't matter. What matters is how you feel. And how many kids have grown up? The entire trans identity bullshit is all, it's all in how you feel.
Yeah.
All of the extra letters on the fucking retarded ass flag are all this.
I hate that they try to lump autism in with them. It's like, nah.
They do that because they take autistic people and apply it to them.
They manipulate the dumber ones, and those. Yeah. Anyways.
Well, dumber's not the right way to put it, but I mean, there are more people who are autistic that are trans than any others, because that ideology actually pushes anybody who's easily moldable.
Yeah.
Anybody who while there are autistic people who absolutely believe in hard facts and information, there's also the reality of the ones that are easily, and there are the ones that are very easily emotionally manipulated. And when when all you do is reinforce happy emotions, or at least the thing that you're told will make you happy, you have to feel good about a thing because you're never allowed to feel bad. You've never been allowed. You've never failed. You've never been told you're a loser. You've never been told any of this. By the way, you're going to love a particular edit that I have in episode 200. I'll show you later.
Okay.
I didn't know it happened in the time, and I don't even know that John knew it happened in the time, but I caught it in the edit, and I'm like, I'm making this happen. So either way, but the point is, people who use emotive, I already forgot the fucking
So did I.
ethical emotivism. Ethical emotivism are fucking people who have never been called a loser because they lost. They've been called a loser because they whine and they cry. Not because crying's a bad thing, but because it's the only thing that they have that they see value in is expressing their emotions. Because by expressing their emotions, they get what they want, and that makes them feel good.
Those people had devouring mothers.
Yes, probably. Overbearing mothers. That's why
almost
most
certainly.
And as certain studies have pointed out, most gay men come from overbearing, devouring mothers. Single.
I believe.
However,
I believe in objective truth.
I think I said
believe in
most. Most sort of bad thing.
I mean, it's probably accurate.
A lot.
Most is over 50%. Show me the stats. So I believe in
I'm gonna get
objective
in trouble
truth.
for that comment in the first place.
For-
Well,
you know.
but no, okay, so
and it's not even-
we believe in objective and subjective reality.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody
Because-
has their perspective.
Yeah.
But my subjective perspective may not necessarily align with what is real. There
Well-
are probably times where I am jaded or skewed,
Yeah.
or I, have not experienced something or don't have all the information or the full picture.
When we talked about nuclear power plants.
Sure, I learned things during that conversation.
And then that probably changed a little bit of your perspective.
It did.
And it would change some of your subjective moral values on
So
said thing.
in that regard, I had opinions that were based somewhat in ignorance.
Yeah.
And due to that ignorance, my subjective opinion meant fucking nothing. It was stupid. It
No,
was wrong.
it was-
Reality was different.
No, here's the problem. It did mean something. You just didn't know it was wrong.
But,
not know- not
but
know-
then that is the value.
Well,
to
there's
me.
being incorrect, and the value in being corrected is the ultimate value in that subjective reality.
So the ultimate value of a subjective perspective is only being proven wrong. That's beautiful. I love it.
I mean, right. I mean, it's the whole point of debate, isn't it? It's like, but here's the thing is that if the intrinsic value in it is just the discussion where like you express your opinion and I express mine, and there's no resolution to our argument, we can both still walk away because we felt like we had a good discussion,
Yeah.
even though nothing changed. However, if I learned something that I didn't know and you learned something you didn't know, then even more value is added to it. But there's a difference because you and I have the ability and the cognition to learn and be receptive outside of emotion. Now, one thing was I got you a little bit heated in some of those like, because I've made a lot of the comments back at you that I knew would piss you off, and you were getting heated. And what did I do?
What do you mean?
I diffused your
Oh,
anger.
yeah.
I diffused your anger with a little bit of humor, usually,
Yeah.
and then with a hard fact.
Right.
And
Well-
then you went, what? Like, because like you stopped in your anger because you realized there was something you didn't know. Like there was the other thing
Yeah.
but
And I'm not so attached to my opinions of things that I can't be skewed with new information.
Yeah.
That I can't be swayed
So-
with new information.
so imagine
And
these,
that's the beauty. Sorry, hold that thought because I want to say this because that's
Go ahead.
really the beauty in those kinds of conversations, right? Because what happened was you and I having a civil discourse led us to both having perspectives more closely in line with what is objectively true, right? And so subjective beliefs and subjective perspectives can be way off base from what is objectively true in actuality.
Yeah.
And if you are more attached to the feelings you get from false beliefs than you are to actually valuing the objective truth that exists regardless of our perspectives, then you probably have a mental illness because then you have no...
and welcome to 2026.
Yeah.
Welcome to most of Facebook. Welcome to most of Instagram. Welcome to Blue Sky. Blue Sky exists specifically because people only want their subjective reality and their ethically or their emotionally reinforced ethical decisions.
conglomerate of echo chambers.
So Blue Sky, from what I know, is pretty much a socialist leftard utopia, but their version of a utopia is direct democracy. So if somebody says the wrong thing, they're booted immediately with no chance to fix themselves. So many people left Twitter, went to Blue Sky, and said, "Oh my God, that was so fucking bad. I can't believe what happened there," because Twitter was stopping them from saying it there. It's like once Twitter started letting everybody talk, unless they became a fucking asshole. Like, yes, there are just normal assholes, and then there's those assholes. Twitter became a much more balanced place once Elon took over. And one, he got rid of bots. Two, he changed the algorithm. I mean, there's a lot of dumb shit happening right now as they're making it far more global. Although Japanese Twitter and American Twitter coming together and everybody becoming bros was a fucking thing nobody thought would happen.
Yeah.
It's like Americans didn't realize how much Japanese people loved America, and then Japanese people didn't realize how big of weebs we are. So everybody just meshed on their love of each other's culture. Yeah. And it is like, see, that's what it's supposed to be about. No, you go to Blue Sky and you rage about what Donald Trump did. Either way. Yeah. But my point was before, because that was a fantastic point.
I didn't mean
to
interrupt you, but
no, you were fine to do that, actually, because I shouldn't have not have interrupted that. But my point was, you and I can have those discussions. You and I can adjust our reality based on new information coming in. And you said basically forming an opinion based on your feelings. And technically that is what that is, but you're basing a morality purely about feelings, not based on any kind of factual thing, because there is no truth outside of how you feel in ethical emotivism.
I almost see that as a drug.
Yes.
Like people are addicted to the good feelings they get from their own bullshit.
Yes. They're sniffing their own farts.
Whereas, yeah, precisely.
It is fart sniffers.
I would rather know truth because I value truth and I believe objective truth exists, and I don't want to be separated from the truth. If I'm wrong, prove
to be
me
separated
wrong.
From truth would be to be separated from God.
And as Christian, yeah, I believe that as a Christian.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of my pursuit in that is I feel that maybe if being closer to truth puts me closer to God, maybe in some sort of deep-seated, psychological way. But
well, you have a tiny bit of narcissism in there,
probably a little, yeah. But I if I'm going to be narcissistic, I want it to be because I'm correct, right? Dr. House coming out.
I mean,
right?
yes, yeah.
All that matters is being right.
Well, he wasn't purely narcissistic, because if he was, he couldn't be a doctor.
Sure,
but he is a high-functioning sociopath.
Yeah. Actually,
well, you know that
Wilson talks about that a few times.
But you know that House is just analogous to Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
He even lives at 221B Baker Street.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it's on his driver's license. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I found that out years ago doing a rewatch. I was like, wait a minute. It says that he lives on Baker Street. I'm like, wait the fuck on. I was like, I've looked at it. I'm like, because he lives downstairs. And I saw that it had B on his door. And then it showed his driver's license when another guy was pretending to be Gregory House. And it showed his driver's license and it said 221B Baker Street.
Wow.
I was like, wow. I was like, they went that fucking hard.
That's
so
awesome.
Wilson is obviously his fucking just draw
damn
a
it.
fucking blank.
I did too, man. What was his name? Winston? Not Winston.
No.
Not Winston. What was it?
Watson.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you got House, Holmes, House.
Yeah.
Wilson. Yeah. So like it was all there. For anybody who hasn't ever realized
now that you're saying it,
that House is just Sherlock, which is why it's so much better than any other medical drama. Anyways, I brought that back to it. But the point is, being a high functioning sociopath is bad for a lot of people. However, can do a bulk load of good.
Yeah.
At the same time. But also his whole thing was avoiding pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sherlock,
and he was literally
Sherlock was getting high constantly just because he couldn't deal with reality.
Yeah.
But the point is, talking about drug, yeah, they're getting high on their own emotion because all they know is I must feel good, feeling bad. We grew up in the fucking got everybody out there right now. If you have
echo chamber circle jerk is what it essentially is.
Not even that. Good, get out of that. We were raised in the generation where heroes died.
Oh, yeah.
We were raised. The children of the 80s are tougher than damn near anyone else. Gen X and millennials, proper millennials,
early millennials,
elder millennials as we're called sometimes. Because I'm actually elder millennial.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not Gen X.
By 1 year.
You're at the other end. You're at the tail end of millennial. I'm at the top end of millennial. I'm closer to Gen X.
Yeah, no, I thought didn't Gen X end in 87?
Something like that.
So I was born in 89. So
Yeah,
I'm
so
like
you're
the oldest.
you're
millennial.
close to it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It just depends on where
You're technically Gen X, aren't you?
No, I'm actually a millennial. Yeah.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the point is, no, because it wouldn't have been 87. It would be 83. 83 is when I was born, so it's earlier than that. Either way, but it's not about when you're born. It's about blah 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 blah. Either way, the point is, if you have young kids, like it's not too late for yours. Show them fucking 80s kids movies.
Yeah.
And I don't mean the happy-go-lucky Disney shit. I mean Don Bluth. We grew up where Littlefoot's mom died.
Yeah.
After going to battle with the fucking T-Rex to save her only child's life.
Yep.
And then he spent the rest of his fucking movie trying to find the rest of his fucking family.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that taught you the value of parenthood, being a lost child, it taught you the value of found family, and then not giving up when things get hard.
Yep.
That's one fucking little kid's movie. That's the very first movie I ever saw in the theater, and it never fucking left.
The original Land Before Time?
Yeah, when it first came out in 1986.
I watched all those movies.
Yeah, and you're a different person.
Yeah.
So look at it this way. Optimus Prime fucking died.
Yeah.
Died. He didn't stay dead, but he died.
Goku dies. I mean,
Goku died. Yeah, he also comes back too often.
He dies, though.
But he died for a good reason. But also 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Ball Z was the 80s. People don't realize that. Early 90s, but either way.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball was 80s
Right.
into the 90s. Dragon Ball Z would have been...
Well, Grandpa Gohan dies. Killed by Goku.
Killed by his own fucking grandson. Yeah. When Goku was devastated when he finally realized that Uzaru was him.
It was him.
Yeah, and he was
right.
devastated. That was a real reality. Have your kids watch the first Never-Ending Story when they're young enough for it to matter.
Yep.
Fucking dude, that movie is powerful. Like, people make memes about it now. Like the fucking planter, like the house planter that's Artex in the Swamp of Sadness. It's like that literally taught you, if you give in to your sadness and the dark feelings, you die.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it also told you, hey, don't be too quick to do things. You know, figure out a situation first before you charge headlong in, because you might die if you don't pay attention to what you're fucking doing. It taught you the concept of bravery, pushing past your feelings because there's something more important than just how you feel today. It didn't say shove your feelings down. It said don't give in to them.
Yeah.
You can't fucking tell kids that nowadays.
Shit, I do.
You do. But there's two generations who've been taught, oh, no, don't cry, it's fine, happy, here's your Game Boy, or here's your fucking candy.
That's the devouring mother.
Anything to keep your kid from being fucking sad.
No, be sad.
And
Work
then
through it.
And
Be
then
sad.
when they hit puberty, they don't understand why nothing makes sense and everything hurts.
Yeah.
Because they weren't prepped for it. Now, you don't have to beat your kids, but Michael Jackson was great.
I teach my kids. I teach my kids, and maybe some might not agree with it, but I teach my kids that someone coming to save you is a luxury.
Oh yeah.
Figure out how to take care of it yourself.
Yeah.
When you have problems, you work through them.
Ask for help.
And no matter what problem you have, even if you can place blame on somebody else, there's a portion of it that's your fault.
Yeah.
And find that portion, internalize it, make sure it never happens again.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you have to do. You can spend your entire life blaming the world for all your problems.
Yeah.
Or you can nut the fuck up and deal with it and make the best of it and create something better against all odds.
And see, one thing is, like you already said, you put your kids through sports, you had them learn an instrument, you had them learn some type of martial art if possible. Right?
Well, the instrument has been the part I struggled with most.
But the point is,
because I'm not that great with instruments myself. I can play a little guitar, a little bass.
Well, but the point is, you had them challenge themselves. Yeah. And you challenge them in things where merit is going to matter and effort is going to matter.
Yeah. You don't just get good at guitar.
And you also don't just get good at football. You don't just get good at soccer.
Right.
You have to put in effort. You have to learn things. It's not going to just be handed to you. And you're going to fucking lose.
And sometimes...
At least you should.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. No, winning is great, but I think losing is actually better.
Losing is how you learn.
Right. Losing is how you learn to win.
And you know what's funny is I think that's something that video games are coming back to. For a while, they weren't doing. You couldn't lose.
Yeah.
But then we went a little too hard the other direction and created things like Dark Souls.
Dude, do you remember the Lion King game?
Oh, that was impossible.
Oh my god, I never made it past the fucking giraffes.
The hippos and giraffes, yeah.
Yeah, like-
well, because there was a glitch. It was broken. It's like that and another game were broken that you couldn't actually pass that unless you really did exactly the right thing.
No, there was a pattern. You had to like
Well, it's not only that.
growl at the giraffes or whatever.
Yeah, but there was also a glitch that made it harder than it was supposed to be. But also, sometimes they just gave you puzzles and told you nothing.
Well, even I mean, look,
and you had to
at,
try over and over and over.
Right, and Mario was hard, and Sonic was hard. I mean, all of these games, like you didn't just pass through. I agree. I've noticed that too. Like you can't really lose, and then games where you lose a lot, like say Call of Duty, for example.
Yeah, you lose your loot if you die.
Yeah, well, I don't.
Depending on the game.
Yeah, you don't lose your loot now. But did you ever in Call of Duty?
Oh, I never play Call of Duty much, but I'm saying like certain online shooter games like that, you might have a whole bunch of stuff, but the point is, if you properly die, you drop your fucking loot and you start over.
I think there's like survival in Minecraft. I think is actually
survival in Minecraft actually has taught a lot of kids to do things the right way until they learn God mode. But the point is that say like games that punish you for doing the wrong thing, or where you would just try to do a hack and slash. You're like, I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out of this boss. Okay, you cannot beat the shit out of this boss. You have to fucking find the right way to do this.
Like in Diablo,
but Dark Souls very specifically. Any of the Souls games are like that. There's another one I forgot the name of, Bloodborne, I think it is, something like that. Is one of those. I could be wrong.
I never played Bloodborne. Did you ever play Dante's Inferno?
No, but I heard it was fun and/or shit.
That was
it was another one of those. It's similar to God of War in a way too.
I thought it was a really good game. It definitely has some like whoa kind of things about it.
Yeah.
But there were also parts of it that were extraordinarily difficult to get through, and there were certain ways you had to do things. Like the mechanics were unforgiving.
Yeah.
I noticed that playing like raids in Destiny, the mechanics in Destiny are very unforgiving. You either do it the way you're supposed to do it or you don't. Now, there's been a couple of like exceptions to that rule. As a hunter in Destiny 1, I did figure out how to solo Crota's raid, Crota's End, but that isn't usually Destiny, like that. But I had a lot of fun with that game.
I was never good with RPG type things.
Those are the best though.
I know, but I was just never good with them. Yeah. Like the RPG, MMORPGs, I was never good at.
I don't know about the MMO part. I really miss when games were on my console.
I agree.
I could play them offline if I wanted to.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I only stick with certain games that don't do a lot of online play.
Yeah.
That's why I got Spider-Man. That's why I've got, like, one, I like open world games that you can just do some shit in, but also you get cool powers. You can beat up a whole bunch of fucking grunts.
That's fun. Of video games.
That's why I like Spider-Man. But you also have a learning curve. Oh, I can't beat this boss this way. Oh, I can't do this. I also hate when there's too much hand-holding, which is why a lot of people were pissed off at, I think it was God of War 20, Ragnarok had too much hand-holding, where they were like, they were like, this is not that hard, just aim at that thing. It's like, shut the fuck up, I'm figuring it out. They should have had a shut the fuck up option for your partners. Like, hey, don't tell me how to do it, and don't fucking give me hints. Mock me for failing. That should be the option.
That's a fucking Gen X early millennial belief right
it's
there.
Like,
mock me for failing.
And now sometimes,
why aren't you bullying me?
Now here's the thing. There is a character in Valhalla that does. Because when you go to Valhalla, you lose Mimir for a while and you end up getting Hermes.
Okay.
So way back when Kratos killed Hermes, right? And then in Valhalla, you actually go back and revisit some of the old Greek levels, not just the other ones. And because this is going through Kratos' life and some of his regrets and a lot of the things that he's done, which is what Valhalla is trying to do. It's trying to change your mind on how you feel about things. So it takes you through your traumatic past to help you move forward and be better. That's the whole point, is Kratos becoming a better god.
Psychology lesson.
It really is. But Hermes is a fucking asshole. And he hates Kratos for killing him the way he did. So he's stuck with Kratos. So he mocks him for fucking failing or any of these other things. It's like, so he talks shit until he doesn't talk shit. But he's used to having a very faithful partner on his hip. Instead, he's got a fucking asshole who's bitching at him the whole time. However, Kratos, giving into his old ways, gets punished for it and actually ends up fucking up other people that come to save him because he fucked up.
I need to play that game.
So spoilers for a 2-year-old game at this point. The best DLC that has ever come out for a game. They gave you a whole game as DLC.
Really?
It's like, yeah. So it's a sequel to, it's an expansion of Ragnarok. It's not another game. It's a sequel to take up where Ragnarok never got to. Ragnarok was supposed to be 2 different games. There was supposed to be a trilogy. They didn't quite get there. So they crammed 2 games worth of story into Ragnarok. And so they gave you Valhalla to make up for what they fell short on.
I got you.
But they gave it to you for free. It allowed you to get some cool shit. You got to revisit Kratos' past in Greece. You got to deal with old characters, not just current ones. But Kratos gets invited to Valhalla. And because he's died before, he can go to Valhalla, which is fucking nuts in the first place. He doesn't know the way to get in, but he knows he can brute force his way in because he's Kratos. He is the fate breaker. He rips open the doors of Valhalla and just goes in and starts wandering the fuck around.
Video game.
Not realizing that it's just one big fight after another.
That's what Valhalla is,
Yeah.
right?
Well, kind of. But the point is you should have some peace. But in this case, what we're talking about, it's all about psychology.
Yeah.
So, and each version of Valhalla is specific to the person in it at the time. So the whole point is he goes in there, forces his way in because he doesn't know any better. He didn't talk to anybody who could have helped him. When he goes in, he fails first, not realizing that he's going to respawn, right? So when he dies, he pops back out at the gate. And he's like, what the fuck just happened? But he dies. He's like, fuck, I died. He ends up outside the gate again. And then that's when his friends show up, the Valkyries and Freya. Valkyries are supposed to shuttle people to Valhalla. It's their fucking job.
Okay.
They're supposed to grab warriors on their death and take them to Valhalla, right?
That's right. That's coming back to me
Norse
now.
mythology.
Yeah.
So they let him in the proper way, and then he has a different experience. Now he's going through it the way he's supposed to be, not just forcing his way through. However, he gets to a part that is a replay of one of the early God of War games, where he's going through this dungeon. He gets to a point where he has to sacrifice something to move forward, put it into this cage, and then set it on fire. At this point, Hermes is annoying him. He's already replaced Mimir on his hip.
Sacrifices Hermes.
He's like, fuck you, and he sticks him in there. Because in the original game, he put a fucking random soldier in there so that he could sacrifice that person and move on. That's what he needed to do. But whenever it changes, like, he puts Hermes in it and he pulls the switch, and then Hermes disappears and Mimir takes his place. So now Mimir, someone who deeply cares about, is in there. And instead of just going, okay, whatever, he does the Kratos thing. He rips it the fuck open. This thing is it's supposed to be a gateway to the next thing. He rips this thing open to get Mimir out of it. And in doing so, breaks Valhalla.
Oh.
And now he's falling into this fucking void because now Valhalla couldn't do the thing it was supposed to do. Because once again, he's Kratos. He's the fucking fate breaker. That's what he does. And so the Valkyries are not supposed to go into Valhalla. But the head of the Valkyries comes in to save them because she loves Mimir and she's a friend of Kratos. And she burns her wings to save them. Sacrificing herself, and she can never go to Valhalla properly now because she did that.
Oh, wow.
And that's the lesson he had to learn, was that the point was sacrifice to move on, to move forward, sacrifice something that matters.
Right.
So when Kratos comes back to that moment on the next go, he sets Hermes' head down on the thing and he goes into the crate himself. And he burns. And instead of being kicked out of the gate because he died, he moves on to find the person who invited him there in the first place.
Wow.
So that's a game that the story punished the character for going by pure emotion and stupidity and just brute forcing his way through because he didn't take the time to think.
And then
he
the
didn't
correct answer is self-sacrifice. What lessons can be learned from that society?
And that's the whole point. Like Kratos has been, I think, in 9 games now. And he's going to come back up. They've already said that after the one that's about to come out, starring his wife, which people are enraged about, he's coming back to a sequel game that apparently will tie into that one. because he pops in and out of that one, which is weird because now we're in another form of an afterlife that doesn't make any sense. So, but the point is that Kratos goes from the god of war, the one who just killed anybody in his fucking way, slaughtered all the gods, and destroyed his home country, literally ended the concept of hope and extinguished the sun. That's what he did to Greece.
I didn't know.
At the end of the Greece era, he was the cause of the fall of Greece. He opened Pandora's box. Pandora ended up being a person that he took on as a daughter, but then that ended up taking hope out of the world. And then because he also killed the sun god, it's no more fucking sun. He killed the god of the ocean. The oceans are fucked. He killed everybody. And all of these people had a purpose for that land. And only one god technically survived, and that's because she moved on to a higher plane of existence, and that's Athena. But that's also because she sacrificed herself because she knew that would happen if she did, because she's a fucking cunt. Either way, the point is, he goes from being the god of war and only knowing this hatred, this anger, but going into God of War 2018 with his son, who is now half god. And he's never told him he's a god. He never told him any of this because he didn't want him to grow up the same way.
Right.
So he stayed distant. He never gave him something to latch onto, gave him a rough Spartan upbringing, but never gave him the knowledge of what he was. And that was the case of holding back knowledge from somebody, leaving them ignorant, and that ignorance hurting them, when all it would have taken was a great conversation and understanding between each other.
Yeah.
That's the story of God of War 2018. A father and son coming to an understanding of how they are. A young child who didn't know the truth of himself, and a father who was holding back that truth because he was ashamed of it. And then Ragnarok is a jumbled mess, but it's still a great story of a person also finding their identity, because once again, there was more to it. Rushing headlong into trying to figure out who you are without ever taking those steps to earn it.
Yeah.
Finding a destiny that you're told you have versus taking a breath, surrounding yourself with people to trust, hiding secrets. It's a very similar story, but in the same time, it's not Kratos' story, it's Atreus's.
Well, and it kind of has some elements too, where it's not so much discovering who you are, it's about forging who that person is.
And that's actually part of it too, because in God of War Ragnarok, Atreus is told, he was told his name, and he's told there's a prophecy. He takes that prophecy on to be about himself. But it's a pretty vague prophecy.
Yeah.
He identifies people within the prophecy who he thinks should be there, and therefore sets out to either make that prophecy happen or fight against that prophecy. Of course, he's got the dad who literally breaks all prophecies. So his worry and Kratos' worry are the same worry. They just don't know that. And they fall apart because they're both keeping secrets, and it's the same fucking secret. They're both fighting for the same thing, except one person's trying to protect the other person, and the other person's trying to keep that person from dying. And the whole point is that because they just didn't take the time to have an understanding, to have a conversation, to face objective reality. They were both going at a subjective reality, but with a little too much emotion. And the whole point is later on, when Kratos learns, I do have to feel emotions, but instead of just feeling bad and burying them, I need to do something with this emotion. And if I can use what I came from to make other people's lives better, then I stand behind that we need to be better gods.
Yeah.
Because he came from horrible gods. And he's like, I don't want that for anybody. That's why I didn't tell you about this. Yeah. We need to be better. And then he finally comes around to being that better god much later. But he didn't know that, and then he was holding things back. He was hiding his emotions or running only based on emotion. Forgetting objective reality, forgetting subjective reality, and just fucking going off pure emotion. And the game shows you a lot of what we've been arguing about. Merit, truth, objective truth, not knowing how to deal with emotions and doing it the wrong fucking way and inflicting your emotional instability on other people and not taking responsibility for the consequences.
Right. And there's other themes
and
there
that's the whole
too
point
as well. That self-sacrifice is like a form of benevolence.
It is.
There's the theme that, struggle breeds greatness.
And that's the other part of it. Yeah.
And so, I mean, there's a lot of important themes there that it seems like kind of almost makes me think of like some of Jordan Peterson's lectures where he's talking about, slaying the dragon. And
there's a lot of that too.
Yeah. I mean,
you slay a bunch of dragons in those 2 games.
But that's what it's all about, man.
Literally.
And that's an allegory for, is that the right word? Allegory?
Yes.
It's an allegory for conquering the struggles that you face in life.
Yeah.
And becoming a better person as a result of those struggles.
Well, it's also conquering. Because even at one point
taming your feelings. You are not what you feel. Your feelings are like an alarm system. Like I like to think of fear as, for example, as an alarm system.
It is.
So it's like once I can shut it off, and I learned to do that when I was very little. It's like, okay, once I'm afraid of something, I recognize I'm afraid of this thing. I recognize why I'm afraid of this thing, and is that a valid fear in this moment? Right? Like you're about to go down the roller coaster.
Yeah.
That's scary. Is it a valid fear? Not really. I mean, you're strapped. It's all been
still
engineered.
a scary situation.
Sure, but it's all been engineered. It's relatively safe. It's doing dangerous things safely, right? So you can you can almost like hit that mute button. Like, okay, I got it. Yeah, I'm a little scared. Right? This is gonna be fun anyway.
Yeah.
Skydiving, for example. And that's actually a worse example.
But what I would also argue in there is that the fear response actually breeds the relief response, because if you turn off the fear, then there's not really much relief. Now, turning off fear in a actual fearful situation can be good. It can be good because
you stay in control.
Staying in control,
you don't panic. You don't
panic,
right.
And that's actually that's also in the God of War story, because he has a problem with his son, because he said you lost control, because basically their cart they were in got tossed by a troll, and he yells shit, and he's like, that word you used back there. He wasn't mad that he cussed. He was mad that he lost emotional control in a situation and was only going off that instead of focusing on how to get through it.
Well,
and only was the problem there.
Yeah.
And that's the struggle those two have, because Kratos wants Atreus to turn off all emotions, close his heart to things. He literally says, close your heart to the suffering of others so that you can get through this. And then he realizes by the end he was wrong. And he said, no, open your heart to the struggle of them, but do not lose yourself in that.
Yeah.
That's what he tells us. Like, let your emotions be,
right, but
do not let them control you. So he realized he was telling him the right thing the wrong way.
Yeah.
And then he came to it, wait, you're not me. You have to feel these things. You have to be someone who feels empathy for others and not just let it run away to the point that you become obsessed with other people's feelings.
Be empathetic, not toxically empathetic.
Yes, and that's the thing that I mean, like, there's issues within it, but at the same time, that empathy that allowed Atreus to move through other worlds, very literally, and connect with people, was the same thing that his father feared would lead him down dark paths. And instead, it opened up doors for him. However, and actually a very literal sense, now that I mention it. But the thing was, when he let it rule him, he was out of control and made a lot of mistakes.
Right. Well, and now we've almost come full circle to like what originally started this conversation, and then that's that, like, our toxic empathy that we seem to have, at least in some part, as a society, as a culture,
and suicidal empathy.
We have allowed terrorists to weaponize our own birthright citizenship policies against us. And that's kind of where this whole conversation, I believe, started, right? We were talking about birthright citizenship, and that kind of steamrolled into some other things. But ultimately, like, the reason I'm against that policy is because of concepts within 4th and 5th generation warfare. And by having a silly law like that, where it might seem outwardly through some scope or perspective to be like a benevolent thing, like, oh yeah, if you're born here, you're a citizen, blah blah blah, but
or just letting people in willy-nilly,
right?
Which is where we started. It was actually people coming in willy-nilly.
Well, and I mean, birthright citizenship has been around since the country's inception, unless I'm wrong.
No, birthright citizenship only really came around after the Civil War.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was part of the 13th Amendment.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. So, okay, that learned something new.
Or 14th, I'm sorry. 13th obviously ended slavery.
Oh, that's right. 14th, it's coming back to me because that naturalized the slaves.
So it was naturalizing the children of slaves.
Right. That's right. Okay.
That's where the birthright citizenship.
But see, and I agree with that
Yeah, and that's what it was meant for.
And in the time where, it took 3 months to sail across the world on a ship, I mean, maybe so then as well, as long as you came through port of entry and you were, did everything the right way. If you were pregnant when you came in, you had a child here, and I mean, guess so.
Odds are if you came here, you were staying.
Right. Exactly.
So you were becoming a citizen.
But nowadays it's like 12-hour flight to the UK. Like,
they didn't have mass travel as a concept when they wrote these things
and
down.
That
was part of the argument. That was literally part of the argument.
That's the most valid form of argument.
So you and I are having the same argument that the Supreme Court had, except we're just not doing it with strict legal knowledge.
Sure.
But we're having the same arguments. The whole point was they clearly couldn't envision mass easy transit.
Right.
Airplanes weren't even remotely a concept when they came up with that.
Right.
I mean, like the Wright brothers were still 20 years away from inventing their plane.
Yeah. I don't know about the dates, but I mean, I don't.
Well, we're thinking 1870s.
Even then, I mean, if let's say the Wright brothers had invented the plane, it was like what at best a 2-seater at that point. Like literally, it wasn't flying across the fucking Atlantic.
It was a 2-layer.
Yeah, it wasn't flying across the Atlantic either. Like,
no, but you got to think also from the time it was only 50 some odd years from the Wright brothers' flight to us landing on the moon.
That's another subject.
We went to the moon. We did go to the fucking moon. Either way, the point is that go back to the emotional reality of things. Let's go back to just that.
It's suicidal empathy to let your enemies come over here, to squeeze out children, and then give them citizenship,
or just let anybody in and set up enclaves.
That's crazy. Yeah,
not becoming
100%.
Citizens, and that's exactly what happened to Rome. Rome fell for this exact reason.
And if there's a historical precedent for that, repeating it is retarded.
Yep. It's literally the fall of Rome. That's exactly what happened. They let people in at the borders, and then they started setting up enclaves. They started losing control of their border cities, and then it started moving further and further inward. People were coming in who were not Roman. Then they started giving birth to non-Roman citizens, and then they're like, "Oh, well, I guess they're here, whatever."
Yeah.
And there is no other major country on this planet that you can go to and have that exact same thing.
And that's a testament to how fucking stupid it is.
Yeah. If no other Western
none of the countries of people coming over here and reaping the benefits of it allow it themselves.
Yeah. So like you could say you got someone knocked up and you flew over to fucking China.
That's tough.
First of all, you wouldn't be allowed to fly in your third trimester, especially to fucking China.
Yeah.
And then you give birth there. That kid can't become fucking president of China.
Yeah.
However, the exact opposite is true. China has now sent thousands of pregnant women to Guam for vacation in their third trimester. They stay there as long as their little temporary visa will allow them. They give birth on Guam, which is U.S. territory. Then they fly them back to communist China to raise them, and then they will send them here just in time because they have to have 15 years of residence or whatever to fucking run for president.
We have become suicidally empathetic.
Yes, it is suicidal empathy, and it's a terrible fucking thing. But that all comes back to the fucking kids who were never told no, the kids who were never allowed to lose, the kids who were never emotionally stable enough to fucking not get a fucking trophy.
Well, they're going to have to hear it now.
Well, here's the problem. They're the ones who are currently not the largest voting bloc, but they're the most motivated voting bloc. So if there's any hope for our future, Tim, it's that all the generations after us are smaller than us instead of bigger. So actually, as long as we hang around to get old enough to really make a difference, then we'll be able to outrank them no matter what.
I've been pretty proud of what I've seen out of my oldest son's groups of friends.
Yeah.
They seem to be pretty level-headed kids.
Oh, they're not fucktards?
Yeah, they don't seem to be that dumb.
Weird.
Pretty good kids.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some hope for these younger generations, though.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit late, and I haven't even seen my wifey, but we'll go ahead and wrap this up. We're not going to do 3 hours like last time.
Roger that.
So either way, guys, look, I bring Tim in because we don't have to have very specific conversations. However, we did get actual news in there in the interim. It was good. We didn't have to do very focused stories and stuff like that. But if Hefe was here, it would have been a different story. Pun intended. Either way, so that's going to be it for episode 199. Next week, when this drops for you guys, obviously not for me, episode 200, the first ever live show of the thing, will be shown to you people out there in the world. It was a lot of effort. Please watch it, share it. I never say share this show. Share the show with all your friends.
Please share.
Put it on Facebook. Put it on everywhere. everywhere you know to do things. If you guys are audio listeners only, actually, audio listeners have been doing pretty damn good. We've got a good range of listeners across the world there. Guys,
let's have some fun with this. Let's argue about stuff. Let's find common ground. Let's talk video games. I mean, on this podcast, anything goes.
In the comments, tell Tim how right or wrong he is about.
Please, yeah. Let's argue.
Or me. Like, we need more comments because we just don't get them. Like, that's the sad part.
Is that kind of like how the algorithms work? Like,
yes.
Will it show it to more people if it's getting
absolutely
more? Okay,
absolutely. The more you guys interact with the show, the more it will get pushed, and the more people who will see it and talk to us. So it's up to you guys out there. You do have to hit the like button because it does help a little bit. It feels like it doesn't, but it does. Liking and leaving comments. Like Tyler actually went through. Shout out to Tyler, good friend, subscriber, Patreon. He went through like several dozen episodes listening and leaving comments, even random ones, like on old episodes, like even the old episodes in each action. We literally have 200 of these things.
Yeah,
actually more, technically speaking. There's more than 200, especially on the audio side. There's like 245 because I separated things out and did different. I didn't have clips. I just did extras.
I got
so
you.
There was a whole lot of extra commentary because I didn't want to put out 3-hour-long episodes back in the day. Now I don't care. Speaking of which, I think the final number, I have to finish it up after you leave, or maybe in the morning. The final time count for episode 200 part 1, after I've add in the last little bit, I think is going to fall somewhere around 4 hours and 8 minutes. Down from 5.5 hours of footage.
I think we were there longer than that, even, weren't we?
Well, overall, we were there for like 15 hours, but
yeah,
beside the point. Recording wise, there was 5.5 hours of recording. I managed to remove and trim an hour and a half.
Did you keep the chick eating my pizza in there?
Oh yeah, that's in there.
Awesome.
Chelsea, are you eating my pizza? That's in there. Yeah. The drunken pizza stealer. Yes.
Yep.
So I did remove. Okay, so hold on. Before we go, maybe we'll do a quick thing. So you joined the offenders that night.
I did.
You seemed reasonably happy with the outcomes of your powers.
Sure.
However, that was such a shit show. I was going to offer anybody who was there that night the chance to redo it if they wanted to. So you could re-roll. You can keep your powers, but you can re-roll for the offset. Because you wanted metal manipulation powers like Magneto.
Yeah.
And you definitely rolled racism.
Yeah. It was everyone was racist towards me.
Then the more you use your powers, they became more racist towards
you. And it was like some sort of like magical spell sort of thing. Like whatever somebody was racist against is what I appeared to be.
Yeah. They were.
Person.
You became the idol of their racism.
Yes.
Yeah. So I will. If I
remember correctly, my powers were they were definitely Magneto-esque, but they were more also kind of like
metal bending. Yeah. They weren't just magnetic.
I could like change.
You're manipulating
form
metal.
And stuff.
Yeah. So you can keep that as it is, or you can re-roll. Because I have the actual dice right there.
Do you think I should re-roll? I mean, I kind of like that. It's kind of fun.
I mean,
and I was relieved that I didn't get some of the other things that I could have gotten, like some of the other, like what was one of the guys, he has to like jerk off or something to like use his powers or something like that.
So John's powers, he basically wanted electrical manipulation. We didn't specify jerking off, but the point was he kept building up a static charge while moving.
Okay.
So we made the joke.
One way to get
we made the joke initially that he was just constantly shuffling his feet like Peter Griffin, charging up static.
Okay.
And so and then we also he jokingly said that we put him in Crocs so that he doesn't build up any powers, but he has to relieve the pressure or he'll die.
I got you.
So I don't think we ever specified that he had to jerk off
and to relieve the pressure,
but he definitely had to relieve said pressure.
Okay.
And I think so the thing is, I removed that section entirely.
Okay.
It only exists on the Patreon. So only the patrons have heard that offenders section.
Okay.
So, like I said, if you want to redo it and make it official, we can do that. Or you can stick with the randomness we came up with.
Man.
We only have a couple minutes.
I'm afraid I'll get something worse.
It's possible. So you can stick with your
I think I'm
your
I don't
magnet
want-
your
I don't
magnet
want-
racism.
I don't want something worse.
Because I
I'll
don't
stick
remember.
with that.
I don't. I listened to it, but I didn't listen to it at the same time, so I don't remember exactly what you rolled. But obviously, you got racism in there as a big one.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the other offset was. Probably Naimia. Given how random it was, I think it was Naimia.
I think it was Naimia.
I think it was probably double racism Naimia, if I had to guess.
That actually sounds right.
Yeah. Because I don't think Jessica's definitely has to be redone. That was such a clusterfuck because Chelsea was intervening. There were too many cooks in that kitchen. And so she didn't even know what she ended up with by the end. And she couldn't hear worth a damn. So Jessica will get a chance to redo hers. John, I think, is probably happy with his. I do need to re-listen to it and finesse it so that I know exactly what it was. But I know it was electrical powers. I know that it was going to be static based, and that he did have to relieve that electrical charge somehow. I don't know that masturbation was specifically a thing, but maybe it was. I have to re-listen to it. Either way. So you're the first person to come back on the show since then. So that's why I was offering you that if you wanted to redo it.
Yeah, I think I might just stick with what I got. I wouldn't want to get something worse.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'll re-listen to it and then I will finalize it as that's your specific power and offset.
All right, cool.
Because I have a whole worksheet.
We can do if we need something for like footage or whatever, so you can make a clip out of it.
I'm not worried about it.
Okay, I was gonna say we
I'm
can
not
always
that-
just redo it and I'll pretend like
Yeah.
it's the first time.
I mean, no, because we're not going to fake it. We'll just redo it. Like I'd like one of the
All right.
only people that I've offered to
just out of
redo it.
curiosity, hit the dice. Let's see what we get.
Well, the dice are over there.
Oh, they're right
in the
here.
bag, literally. That Bauer bag right there.
this one.
Yeah.
All right.
It should be in there. Okay, so you still want the same metal manipulation?
Yeah. Now I'm not saying I'm gonna choose this.
Yeah, try to keep them contained.
I got death, disabled, and Naimia.
Okay, go again till you get all three. Or two. You get a
Got racism and double disabled.
wait. You got double disabled?
I did get double disabled.
Please update because we have nobody who's got disabled.
Bro, what the fuck?
Literally, no one has ever gotten disabled.
What am I gonna get though?
I don't know. I'd have to
Because
come
my
up with
shit is
it.
cool right now. I can deal with people being racist toward me. I'll just like fly
I'm
up.
excited because
I'll
nobody's
fly
ever
up on like a steel surfboard. or
literally
something.
nobody's ever gotten disabled. That's why I'm excited.
Oh my god.
It's fine.
Can we do a secondary?
That is secondary. You get what is it? You got double disabled and
Racism.
okay, so you can keep the racism part.
Ah,
You can
okay.
still have your racist offset. How do we disable your metal though? Because you got double disabled, which means you are very
Oh no.
yes.
What do you got cooking there?
Well, you said you wanted to be like Magneto, but I think you're going to be a little bit of Professor X.
Fuck.
You're the more you use your powers, the less you can use your legs. You're progressively getting more paralyzed
Oh shit.
and wheelchair bound.
And then it's not permanent.
Oh no, it's going to keep going.
No. But I mean, it's like as I like the more I
Uh-huh.
use them, the more permanent.
It's double disabled. Yeah. So here's the thing.
I'm gonna stick with what I got.
No. You agree to it. It's fine.
No,
I'm taking
This
it.
was a thought
No,
experiment.
you rolled the dice. It's
This
official.
was experimentation.
Guys, he rolled the
This
fucking
was
dice.
experimentation.
Nope.
They're back in the
No,
bag.
I like the idea that you have been,
Nope.
you've lost the use of your legs because you've
No.
been doing.
That's the most useless fucking power.
wait.
ever.
No, wait. Okay, I'm gonna adapt it slightly. People got so mad at you that they beat you and broke your fucking legs. That's why you're disabled. You did
I got-
something epic, like a building collapsing.
And I saved everybody.
You saved
but then
everyone, but
they
your
broke
offset.
my legs.
They broke your legs.
because they hated me.
They hated you that fucking much. So you are paralyzed from the waist down
Oh,
for that reason. So you're still a hero.
I'm just a paraplegic.
Nope, that's canon now. You're paraplegic.
No way.
So yeah, you're a combination of you still got your cool metal bending
No, first you
powers.
said my legs were broke. Now
But
I'm
here's the thing. Now you know to make yourself some armor first.
I need my dick to work, man. That's not cool.
I said your legs don't work.
It's just my
I
legs.
said you can't
So
walk.
I still okay. So I'm not really a paraplegic.
I mean, you could put a metal rod in it for all it matters. And you can just, you can manipulate the iron in your blood to get a hard dick.
I didn't even think of that.
You don't think good enough. I'm sorry.
Iron to the source. There you go. No.
I like this though. I like this so much better than just your first thing. I
should've-
like the idea that
should've
your
just
second.
got up and
no.
left.
I love that your second offset, your worst offset, is because your other one.
You made me roll twice. You
Yeah.
made me roll twice.
Yeah,
You're like,
you-
nah, that
you-
was not good enough.
No, you have to roll more.
Oh,
you
you
you have to get a majority.
Oh,
Yeah, you have to roll till you get a majority.
But you're looking for doubles on everybody?
Everybody gets a. Nobody's
so
ever
you
got a
can't-
triple.
You can't have a triple?
You can. It's not happened.
Hit disabled. I got double Nymea disabled on that one.
So you still got disabled. So and then it would get worse because it's Nymea.
Degen, double Nymea.
I think Degen was part of. Either way, we need to end the show.
It might have
Either way, so that's Tim's new powers. So he was disabled out of hate race.
Can I just have a club foot or something? I want to.
No. I love the idea that
I want to walk.
No. I love that your minor offset caused your main offset. That's never been done, and it's more creative that way.
All right.
You're our first disabled. You're our first disabled offender. And here's the thing: you can't help what your offset is. You didn't want people to beat you because of racism,
That's
but they
fair.
did. But you saved a fuckload of people.
All right. Well, now I have metal wings. That way I can just take off.
I mean, you can have a kick-ass fucking chair.
Yeah.
You can have like a Professor X type chair that you move around with your metal bending.
Yeah.
But you can also
I
give
can make
yourself.
it
Now
float
you've
and
learned to
stuff.
give yourself a suit of armor before you do anything.
Yeah. Okay. So I got like an Iron Man suit of armor.
And look at it this way: you could technically get some fucking metal legs.
You know what?
installed
That's
and
exact.
manipulate. I
I make myself an Iron Man suit and give myself.
Well, actually,
the
you wouldn't
power
even have to
walk
do
back
that. You
again.
just talk to fucking Little P because that's what he does.
makes Iron Man suits.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, he makes mechs.
And then I use my powers to move. So I gave myself my legs back. Okay, I can deal with that. That works. But when
Well,
I'm just out and
but-
about and I'm a normal person, and
So
like my
as I'm gonna write the stories out, you're gonna be your superhero moment, your canon moment, so to speak, was that you were beaten to the point of disability because you had to use your powers so strongly to save people.
that works. I'll take it.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Yeah, I like this. It's so much better than the previous one. See, this is why we got to re-roll. And now we got our first disabled.
Nice.
And actually, you're so ashamed of disability that you have to have somebody make you the fucking iron suit. But then again, you could also just get some metal legs installed and you manipulate your own legs around.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to exoskeleton this thing. And then I'm going to use my powers so I don't have to use
I like the idea that you literally manipulate the iron in your blood to give yourself a hard dick. Because
That's-
that's actually pretty fucking metal. Pun intended. That's
gonna-
pretty metal.
We can
All right.
keep that one in.
All right, guys, we got to go. It's gotten late. So everybody goes check me out at the _Shoky. Follow Nymea _pod. Go ahead, Fortified Underworks.
Underworks.
Fortified
_
_iron _works
with an X.
with an X. So we could literally call you the Iron Worker.
The Iron Worker.
Yeah, because you're not Iron Man. You're just the Iron Worker.
We said metallurgy. I think.
Yeah, I think that was dumb. I saw that. I'm like,
I like
that was
that.
bad. No, I like the Iron Worker better because realistically, you might be a guy who was literally working the fucking construction job, literally building buildings, didn't know your powers.
Okay.
So that's what you were.
And,
And-
that's when it collapsed, and that's like when the whole thing.
And your
unfolded.
powers fucking came about and you used them to fucking.
And then all these guys that I was working alongside, I just
Yeah.
saved, like started beating me with pipe wrenches and shit.
Until you're disabled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like this. See,
Fun
it all
stuff.
works out. Eventually, I'm going to actually start writing all these stories out. And
This is
probably-
gonna be like you could turn this into like a comic book.
I'm gonna.
and then maybe one
I
day.
eventually kind of want to AI a comic for the.
and then we could, dude. Maybe we end up even getting like a Netflix special.
Shit.
That would be
Down the
so
line,
dope. That'd
awkward
be so
offenders.
fucking cool.
Nah. Either way, guys, we'll see you
Hit
later.
us up, Netflix. We got some
Yeah.
ideas.
End with that.
Okay,
Okay,
bye.
bye.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.